Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our very special anniversary episode of Malt and Magic. Yes, it is episode 52. We've reached the year mark, and there's some goodies in it for you guys. So, as much as we're celebrating as a team today, as my camera goes in and out of focus there, we are celebrating with our loyal fans. So, if you're new to the stream, be sure to follow and join in the chat. That is the only way you're going to potentially get access to the big giveaway of tonight. Just following along does put you in a chance with some of the other giveaways, but we'll get to that in just a second. So first thing, let's do my usual thank yous to Albert Rodeo, to Incarnate, to D&D Beyond, to Hero Forge, to Kassoon, to 5e Magic Shop, to Tabletop Audio, and not least of all, I should say, Battle Bards. Huge shout out to them. Battle Bards are the provider of all the sound effects, a lot of the musical ambiances, and a lot of the music tracks we use on stream. So please go check them out if you want to get access to those sound effects, those music tracks, all of that yourself for your own games. Then go use the code you can see on screen, Malt and Magic, as you register. Get yourselves a nice cheeky discount. Please go check out social media as well. We post all our updates on there. There's been a lot of updates going out this week. Obviously, 2 such updates today around sort of the giveaways, so do keep tuned for that. I'll stop saying that at some point, but it's a lot of fun today. So yeah, check out the social media, go check out the podcast as well. If this is your first time on our channel and you're enjoying it and you want to catch up on the past episodes, the podcast is a great way to do it. All the videos are on YouTube as well, but if you'd rather listen to us, go check out the podcast on your podcast platform of choice, and if you can, leave a review on there. We would love to hear from you, hear what you think, and how we could improve if we need to improve, or how much you're enjoying it, what your favourite part was, those sorts of things. We would love to hear from you guys and girls and people and everyone out there. Huge shout out to Tales of Tilnar as well, our sister stream podcast, whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it our sister podcast stream, whatever you want to call it now, because it is run by our very own Simao, who plays Kirik. As I put my teeth back in, I am so excited about tonight. If you've not got that yet, you probably will get it by now. But yeah, so Tales of Tilnar, please go check that out. Go check out the website as well. And I think that's it for my intros. So I will say now, there will be adult language. There will most certainly be adult humour, and hopefully a lot of fun tonight. Let's roll.
Hello.
Happy anniversary!
Happy birthday to you.
Hey!
It looks like Strictly Come Dancing.
Wow.
I did not expect that.
There we go. Pulling out all the stops tonight.
Oh, yeah.
No expense spared.
So yeah, happy anniversary, everyone.
Oh,
I
yes.
said that's all the
Cheers.
budget of the anniversary
Yeah,
on
that was
those
it.
effects.
That's all
That's pretty much it. I'm
It's
choking
bad
on
that
it
we're
now. That
happier
was-
with this anniversary than we are with our significant others.
My wedding
yourself
anniversary
there.
may or may not be this weekend, so
Not when the England game's on, I hope.
anyway. Cheers. So, quickly lubricate the throat there.
That's what she said.
Let's talk about these giveaways, shall we? Because we all know we want to give them away. So, you will notice each one of us is wearing a brand new Malt and Magic t-shirts.
Look at my chest.
Mine and Samau's didn't come out as well as they could have done. However, I do have a plan for this one to invert the logo and just make the second run a lot better. If you want a chance at getting your hands on one of these t-shirts, we are giving away 2. You will have your choice of which colour you want. All you have to do is follow the Twitch channel. That's all we're asking you to do. If you want to subscribe on YouTube as well, great. But all we're really asking you to do is follow along on Twitch. We will then at the end of the episode, and we will announce the winner on social media at the end of the episode. We will look at all the followers, and we will pick 2 from that list out of a hat, and those 2 lucky winners will receive a t-shirt, and we will be in touch around how you can receive those t-shirts. Our second giveaway comes with a few more caveats. Not only must you follow the channel, I need you to be active in the chat tonight now, discussing with us, discussing with the rest of the people on the chat, to get your hands on a nice, sexy little dice box. If we want to show said dice box now, comes with the Malt Magic logo. We have partnered with our good friends at Dragon's Knight Designs, and they have made this very nice little hexagonal dice box for us. That could be yours. As I say, all you have to do is follow along on the channel and engage in the chat tonight, and that will be winging its way to you. We'll do exactly the same. Yeah,
It's so
Get in line.
I think I'm going to be chatting in the chat a lot more tonight, just to try and win that dice box. But no, yeah. So if you want that, we will look who's been active in the chat, and we will pick at the end of the night. I might do that live on air. We'll see what time we've got and where we're at. The third giveaway is a bit more of a longer running one, basically kicking this off as part of the anniversary event. I want to give all you fans out there a chance to get involved at Malt Magic. So when we reach 50 followers on Twitch, I will be giving one such follower the chance to design with me an NPC that will feature as part of this campaign, and that will give you your own little piece of you inside the Malt Magic campaign, inside the Forgotten Kingdom of Nylin, to enjoy and sort of follow along. So yeah, when we reach 50 followers, that will get released, and we'll sort of keep tabs on how that's going over the coming weeks. If we hit 50 followers tonight, amazing. That NPC will be designed over the next coming weeks, but we'll see how we get on. So with that, let's do a quick lineup and let's get into the game, I guess. So I am Matt, I am the Dungeon Master. I play Bothrid as well, the sidekick character, and all the NPCs, monsters, all those good things that come as part of being a Dungeon Master.
I am Danny, and I play Ander Hornraven, and I will probably derail the session at some point in the near future.
I'm Simone, I play Kirik Greattusk. I'm not sure how I feel about giving people the power to design a character that might just kill us, but, you know, whatever. It's fine. Everything is fine.
An enemy. It could be a friendly NPC. Depends on what.
Yeah, but it will be.
Nobody's going to do that, are they?
I'm Dave. I play Dargon the Goliath. The Goliath fighter warlock.
Good stuff. So when I finish typing,
So many things to
really
look at.
difficult,
So many things.
so many things to do.
Let's just do that again. How we celebrate.
You know what's going to
Share the
happen?
dice
You're going to
box
have
as
to
well
keep
again,
that.
Dave.
Every time we get a natural 20, you're going to have to do that.
Yeah, either that or, you know, if you do get a, you know, how do you want to do this? That's happening, all right? But anyway, guys, this is the big prize.
That's the big prize for today. Your very own hexagonal dice box. So, last episode was a very, very, very interesting episode. Started with another trip to Mephisto's, just a very quick one. And Kirik did his own little bit of shopping and trading and added a request in to get a new, not necessarily a weapon, but a new item that will help him in the quest. And then you pretty much went about the rest of your week reading, engaging in light activity, downtime activities, those sorts of things. Nothing hugely of interest up until the point where Mr. Gravetusk decided to explore the new abilities of his shield, which allows him not only to step into death, but to step out of death at the site of the site of someone's death, really. So wherever somebody has died, you can step out. So you went in search of a particular individual from Greenflower, or from anybody from Greenflower, and came across the trapped soul of the shaman of Greenflower. trapped between life and death because their body was not truly dead, and yet their soul sort of just within the 8th district of death. And you then bamfed back out inside Greenflower, next to a very familiar but overgrown and sort of decrepit well at this point, only to then be set upon by various zombies and the undead body of the shaman himself, who was actually a deathlock. Dealt with them in not only epic but very short fashion. Dawn, sunbeams, well, it wasn't a sunbeam, but dawn, spirit shroud, every sort of undead controlling ability you've got in your arsenal just there came out and managed to clear, or near about clear, the village of Greenflower, and then returned to your home base thanks to Word of Recall. So a great sequence of events there, stepping into death, navigating through death, avoiding any of the monsters of death, finding the soul, getting to Greenflower, all of the stuff that happened in Greenflower. If the viewers haven't seen that episode, please go check out the episode. It has been one of my favourite ones to date, just because these guys absolutely smashed it. Smashed it out of the park in terms of role-playing. Well, no, because everybody's roleplay was on top form last week. Like, I couldn't have asked for any more from any of you. So, obviously, Kirik did steal the show with his activities. But yeah, then you returned to your friends. There was a few then sort of dinners with the Malt Masters, those sorts of things, but that was pretty much where we then left it. So we begin today's session on a new dawn. Dargon, the effects of the Raised Dead spell are no longer affecting you at all. You are back to full strength, full health, full whatever. And there is a note under the door as you come downstairs, left on just a bit of simple parchment, with a strange wax seal over the top of it. Is the symbol of a tree with a nail in it and a hammer.
That's the symbol, or is a nail? Yeah, there's a tree, nail, and hammer.
No, that's the symbol on the wax seal.
Right, yeah, cool. Have I seen this before?
Make me a straight wisdom check, please.
12.
No.
Okay. And is anyone else up yet? Is it outside? Sorry, is it outside the door or on the door?
As always. It's been slid underneath the door.
Slid under the door. Okay. I'll pick it up.
Okay.
What have we got there,
Simple
Dargon?
parchment with a wax seal. There's nothing written on it. It's just folded over using this wax seal.
Looks like someone's left us a message or something. I'll sit.
This better not be a side quest.
I sit down at the table. I'll crack the wax seal and open it up.
Okay. As you crack the wax seal, as you open then the parchment, there is a very dirty, dusty page on the other side with sort of very roughly scribbled, almost looks like it's been done in charcoal, note. And the words that you can make out are something on the lines of casket finished, come see me when you get a chance. Signed the woodcarver. As I've just had a total brain fart for not his name.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's from the
Signed,
guide.
Simbis Strongcraft. This is why we make notes, people.
Oh, it's from Strongcraft. We're going to say his name. He's made the... looks like he's made the coffin for Franco.
That means we can be on our merry way.
It can be. Don't think that we're waiting for anything else, so I'll go get that after breakfast, bring it up to the castle, and we can start making our merry way.
Agreed.
Are you downstairs, Kirik? Are you with us?
Yeah.
I was going to go check you not.
Say all four of you together.
On a solo mission somewhere. You're here, so
No, I'm here.
there'll be a lot of passive aggression this episode. Thank you.
Where are you going? I'm
Sending stuff.
going for a piss. Do you want to hold my hand? If we have nothing else to do, I would go there after breakfast.
So
Okay,
I'm
is
definitely
anybody
finishing
doing
Bothrid's
anything
breakfast
else?
first.
Sorry, say again.
Go ahead, Danny.
All I was going to say was I will be finishing Bothrid's breakfast and waiting for you to return with the coffin.
Okay, so you'll be waiting for I'm way too excited about tomorrow. So you will wait for Dargon to return. Kirik.
I'll stay in as well.
Okay, Bothrid's going to go with you, because Bothrid figures you'll need somebody at least to try and help you carry it back if you're going to bring it back.
Cool. I was kind of thinking not, but
okay,
yeah.
So Ander and Kirik, are you doing anything while you are at home?
Not really, I don't think. Well, I'm not.
I will
just reading, probably.
Just be staring at Kirik, making sure it doesn't go anywhere.
So you literally, I'm going to say you have a dagger just in the table, just sort of twirling it round.
And looking lost
at
my daggers, they were in my bag of holding. So
oh, well, shit. So, you've got one of the kitchen knives that Bothrid uses.
There we go. I've got
unless you
like
looking
around his head.
I'll just be looking at him over the coffee cup.
And it's an awkward silence for a little while as Dargon and Bothrid make their merry way beyond the gatehouse. It is a beautiful summer's morning. The birds are singing. You see what looks like a couple of hawks stalking some prey in the air. I say they are in the air. There's Anders' mind for you. That's what Anders' thinking about while this dancing rapier is dancing around Kirik's head. That would be an anniversary surprise for you, wouldn't it? So yeah, there's a couple of what look like could be sparrowhawks or some other type of hawk that are certainly in the air hovering, hunting for prey. Flowers and trees are all in full bloom, and there is just a nice warmth to the air. And everybody seems in very fine spirits with this sort of summer air, that feeling of summer. Everybody's always got a smile on their face when the sun's out. You head to the gatehouse and the guards just sort of wave you through happily, like they know who you are, there's no worries about that. And you head where?
Realising I don't have a clue where he works or lives, I will go straight back to the tavern.
Okay. The tavern itself, as you enter, is pretty empty. You do, however, see two familiar figures slumped over a table. One very large, one very small, both snoring their brains out, and just cups and goblets and just the debris of a heavy night of drinking all around them. And the bartender, the tavern owner, is just there at the bar itself, just sort of looking with a look on his face of, where the fuck do I start? And as you enter, he sort of looks up. Morning.
Morning. I walk past Gore and Karstan, was it?
Yep.
And I walk up to the bar. I was speaking a couple of days to, what's his name? Strong Craft, the drunk. You don't know where he lives or works, do you?
The woodsmith.
That's the one.
Yes. If basically he built his smithy, if you want to call it that, his carving place. I'm not well enough to know what you call those people, but built it quite close to the tavern. He likes a drink, so if you just literally out the door, turn right, round the corner, you'll see all the wood shavings and just sawdust all the way up to the sawmill. To his place.
Lovely. Cheers. They look like they've been having a good time.
If it wasn't for the golds, I'd have kicked them out by now.
Yeah, that's about right. Anyway, good day to you.
And you.
Yeah, I'll leave and follow his instructions. Out the door, to the right, follow the wood chip.
You do, and you find sort of initially there's just like a stray log or a stray twig, branch, those sorts of things, and then eventually you start to see wood chips, and then it's almost just like a bed of sawdust as you then approach this small. It's like a hut with a house attached to it. There's a very small house, and then there's this large sort of it's almost like an awning, but a wooden awning, and in there is various tables, tools. Looks like there's some sort of grinding stone to sharpen tools. There's a carving table itself. Almost looks like there's a tanning station as well, for tanning leather and those sorts of things. And you see on one such table a very grand, very almost regal looking casket, almost perfect to the way you imagined it, with the figure of Vraco in the top of it, as he was. There's the token Mike Smack. Some of his equipment carved in as you've described it, and Simbis just stands there, and Simbis himself is just sort of stood swaying a little bit.
As I see it, I'm just gonna sort of take it in quietly, just standing there, happy that it's a very well crafted item. And then after about a minute of just taking it all in,
Bothrid leans in. You do good. That looks like him.
yeah, it does. Top form, that. Nice to see nice crafts work like that, isn't it? I know you like cooking, and also I know you like it. That's good.
He's all, like, what do they call it? Art. He's, yeah, art.
Yeah, it's good art. It's a good place for him. Happy with this.
Beauty in everything.
Beauty in everything, Bothrid. Strong craft. You've done fine work there.
Oh. Aye.
Can't decide whether you need a coffee, a water, or another beer.
It's, your friends, they like a drink.
Yeah, you weren't trying to keep up with them, were you?
Well, who's still standing?
You've got a point. You've got a very good point there. Anyway, looks like I've got something I need to take off your hands. Something that you have clearly done some fine work on.
You might be wanting some, horses to carry it. 1 minute. And he just finds a bucket.
I'll walk up to it, up to one end, and I will just give it one of those, like, test heaves, just to see how heavy it is.
Make me a strength check, please.
Cool.
I was going to drop it and break it.
21.
I'll do.
Get your hands under and you sort of lift, and you're able to tip it, and then this thing is solid wood, even for a Goliath. It is thick, solid, almost like solid oak. This thing is heavy.
Aye. You've done some real fine work on this. Looks like I am going to need that horse and cart.
Bothrid sort of looks for a second, and then wild shapes into a draft horse. This
Nice.
huge, great, shaggy mane of, hair going down his neck. This huge, great, bushy tail, sort of the big tufts of fur and hair around the hooves, and as always, a white lightning bolt symbol on the shoulder of this chestnut brown draft horse.
Oh, well, that's 50% of it sorted. Yeah, I ain't got a cart we can borrow.
And as Simbis is throwing up, he just sort of points. And you turn, you can see there is quite a large, looks like it's used for dragging or carrying big logs, sort of felled trees, sort of, those sorts of things. You reckon if you line the cart up itself, you can probably slide the casket onto it with relative ease. It looks like it's been set up that way.
Cool.
And Simbis, once he's finished throwing up, does actually give you a hand, and there's surprising strength for a gnome in helping you drag this thing off and onto the cart. And Bothrid, intelligently enough, makes his way round to the front, allows you to tack him up and sort of bind on the cart, and then the two of you begin to walk away.
Yeah, after giving my thanks to Simba. Thank you again. This is fine work.
Welcome.
Fine
Have you
work.
paid him?
Don't forget where you got it from.
Oh, I will.
Tell your friends.
I think I've already told them all, but I will spread your good name everywhere I go.
Very well.
And not quite knowing whether I should, I was like, about to like smack Bothrid on the arse. I was like, Bothrid, onwards, maybe. Just looking at him a bit awkward.
Bothrid just sort of tosses his head and then begins to slowly and surely just plod along. Doesn't go down the same way you've come, because that's a rather narrow alleyway, but you do see a larger sort of road leading from this hut back out to the main thoroughfare, and you turn back up towards the gatehouse. And as people see the casket and realise who is on it, a number of people stop. Some of the gentlemen take off their hats, place them over their heart. Some of the ladies just simply bow their heads. A child every now and again comes and runs up and places a flower on the edge. And the guards themselves, as you approach the gatehouse, they see it coming and they too look at each other and then step aside. And in a moment they bring their swords out to their chest. And then in a salute.
Yeah, I'll be walking in
As the
front
cascade of Reiko.
I'll be walking in front of Bothrid, sort of as a, just in front of him, I've just realised that I obviously don't have my cape anymore because it was wrapped around him. So yeah, I'm just there in my full armour. So
You are indeed. And even though it's not a funeral procession, there is a feel of reverence and respect to a fallen warrior. As there is a silence that falls around you as you make your way back up towards home. You go through the gatehouse and every guard you pass does turn, does that salute. More flowers get added. And you realise as you then approach the temple and the road or the path down towards the houses, you're actually going to have to leave this outside the temple itself.
because Vaiko was in the castle, wasn't he? In the keep.
Yes. Draco is in the Maltmaster's Keep currently.
Then that's where I'd walk up to the front door and stop outside.
And we will say, for the sake that Kirik, because you did say last week, Kirik would every now and again, and during this time, would have gone back up and cast Gentle Repose as he needed to, which I think he only has to cast once more.
Yeah. Just before we go, I think.
Yeah. It's 10 days, so.
So yeah.
It is 10 days. Okay, yeah. So literally, it will be just before we leave.
So yeah, stop there and help disconnect it from Bothrid, and Bothrid, we'll leave it here for a minute. Sure, we'll get ourselves together and
shrinks back and sort of forms up into Bothrid form.
That's a one of another fine trick you've got there, Bothrid. That's going to be very handy. But I'm guessing we're probably going to need. Yeah, we're going to need some more horses to get us all the way to Moonbright, I'm guessing.
Yes, I not last long enough to hold on.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's good. We'll sort that just before we go. You don't mind going back to get the other guys? I'm going to stay here.
Okay. Bothrid sort of almost skips off, sort of springing his step. Even he seems to be enjoying the summer. And a Kirik. Anything been going on? Or is just this dancing rapier still just...
All I'm saying is that you don't have to look at me all the time.
I don't have to, but I want to.
That's fair enough.
Oh, shit, where's the love music? Yeah.
As Bothrid steps in to see Ander and Kirik like inches apart, faces just no. And Bothrid sort of walks in and sort of before looking, well, we got the what's with why floating sword?
I haven't forgiven him for leaving me yet, Bothrid. He's done it too many times in a short space of time, and yes, you were interrupted in an awkward moment.
So
Okay.
please,
Well,
come in.
Dargon has Virgo's coffin thing. We are ready.
Let's go.
Well, let's move.
I'll bring the sword back.
Okay. The thing
After you,
floats
Mr.
back into
Gravetusk.
the scabbard.
I go ahead.
Okay. Bothrid quickly grabs a few supplies from the kitchen before you all leave. Just some snacks and some rations and stuff. Places them in his bag of whatever, his bag. And follows you out the door. And you all make your way back up towards the temple. Dargon, were you doing anything while Bothrid goes to get the party, or was that it?
No, just standing around again, admiring the coffin, and also at that point remembering the fact that I haven't got my cape anymore. That I ordered some new clothes and sort of shoulder cape and stuff just over 6 months ago now, in Moonbright. So probably gonna have to head back there, and probably commission some new shit because they've turned that into something else. So
It's been eaten by moths now.
yeah, just sort of reminiscing over the fact that it's one weird couple of days for us, and finding a bit of a
strange week.
Yeah, finding a bit of just like that sort of awkward amusement at a sad moment, kind of like, why am I laughing kind of thing, but just that kind of thing that's in the moment. So yeah, just wait for you guys then.
And I'm thinking to myself that, given it's summer now and it's quite warm, I kind of wish I had a kilt like Dargon, because being head to toe in leather is quite sweaty.
Certainly is. Cool. While you've been waiting, one of the priests of Cord has seen the casket now and has come out, and you notice he brings a silver spear and just places that on the cart next to the casket, and sort of turns to you and in a quietish voice just make sure this lays with him. From us to Moonbright.
I shall. It's, what's it mean? Is it something you used?
More ceremonial. Symbolism of Welos.
I'll keep it with him, and I'll make sure he stays with it.
Good. And the priest accord turns back and goes in, and you then notice your friends coming back. There's an awkward tension between Kirik and Ander. Bothrid's still happy.
Hey guys, you realise that last time that we were in Moonbright, according to them, was over 6 months ago. Fun fact.
Oh, they're gonna think we've not kept our promise.
Yeah. And we've also got to remember a certain member of Captain Swift's crew, and not that it's anywhere near as awkward as that, but I've got some tailor-made stuff that apparently is 6 months overdue being collected. So,
I hope they don't charge interest.
Yeah. It's got all of that amusement ahead.
I hope Feltag has another memory lapse, because he might be a little bit mad. We can convince him we were... I'll talk him around.
I'm sure we can say that, we couldn't wake him up or something.
Yeah, we'll blame him. Yes, definitely we'll do. We'll blame him.
Sure we'll do that. Anyway, I've got the coffin. If you guys are ready,
Have you got the guest of honour? Have you got
shall
the guest
we?
of honour?
We'll go and we'll go inside shortly. I don't think there's anything else keeping us here, are you?
No, I don't think so.
Nope.
Head to Moonbright, then north.
So just to clarify, you haven't collected Vraco yet. We need to go get Vraco.
Yes.
Right.
Which, considering how heavy the coffin is, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to get it in the keep. But as I'm also a foot taller than the rest of you, so
we'll have to carry Vraco down.
Carry the body out.
Yeah. Cool. So
if push comes to shove, I could drape my cloak over him and make it invisible, so if you don't want people to see.
Just like I walked in with him, I'll walk back out with him. So
okay.
I will. I'll go and knock on the door.
Okay. So you all make your way up to the Maltmaster's Keep, Castle Maltstack, knock on the door, and Mirabelle answers the door and sort of looks at you and looks questioningly.
Morning, Mirabelle. We're here to collect Vraco and take him home.
She bows her head and looks towards Ander for a brief second, and then turns back to you and sort of ushers you in.
I'll say morning, my dear, in her head.
And as you do so, there is less of a reply, but more of a satisfied giggle.
Wife number 5, coming right up.
She then runs off, leaves you sort of in the waiting area, and sort of runs off to find the Maltmasters, the remaining Maltmasters, and then returns and sort of ushers you.
While we're waiting, I'll turn to Kirik. Kirik, have we got a way of communicating with the Masters when we leave on a regular basis?
I can send them messages regularly, but that would obviously cost some power, but it's definitely doable.
Can't we? Oh, maybe we should have got the sending stone back off Captain Swift.
I can't remember whether we did in the last couple of episodes, but I'm assuming kind of not. So
you didn't explicitly express that, so
yeah, no, that's fine. And the chaos of getting back. Yeah, it's a good point. That would have been quite useful. None of them can message us, can they? They haven't before, have they?
I would have thought
Can't remember
they'll probably need
any.
us before we'll need them, so they would probably contact us. They'll have ways.
Yeah, I suppose it was just more about gaining more information. They're going to be sitting here and might have pertinent information a couple of days after we leave. But
I mean, I can check on them whilst we're out.
Maybe once a week or something.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
So that means we won't speak to them for 6 months.
Yeah, with the way it's
Some
been going,
strange.
there's
strange
very good chance
timeline.
of that, Andy. Yeah. Oh, Mirabelle.
She then returns and leads you down the corridor. Rather than taking you upstairs, she leads you to the throne room this time. Having seen the casket. And as she leads you in, the 3 Malt Masters are already sat not on the 4 thrones which were upon a raised platform. Those have been moved off to the side. Instead, there is now a table, and on top of it lies the shrouded body of Reiko, and they sit on the frontmost pew in front of this raised dais, this raised platform. As you enter, they all turn, and Cupid looks at you. It is time for him to return, then.
Yeah, it is. Time for him to head home.
Very well. We must pack. If you are willing to wait. We have sent word already to Moonbright that you were planning to return him. They are planning to, well, obviously hold an internment, a funeral of sorts. We will send word that we are on the way, and they will make the necessary preparations. So I know there are those who wish to join.
I'm glad they know. That's one extra thing for us to not have to do when we get there. Are you coming with us?
Oh yes, he was one of our lieutenants. Lieutenants. Very important to us.
Doggin looks surprised but pleased.
Will you not leave Glentwag vulnerable if you leave?
There are those here who can protect this keep if necessary, and well, there's always rapid ways of returning should we need to.
That's good to know, and I'm very grateful for you to be coming along. Are we all headed? Oh, we are in need of probably two pack horses to carry to pull the casket. It's been made very well. Is that something you might be able to
The
provide?
blender turns to you at this point. It will be done. We can certainly... Well, I can certainly provide the horses.
That's very kind. I didn't think Bothry would make it the whole way if he was pulling it himself.
I
His
look at you
druidic
puzzled.
skills are getting better, but he has a way to go just yet. Not even I can last quite that long.
So it's very gracious. You let me know when you're ready. I will carry him
Give
out.
us 15 minutes.
Lovely.
That should
I'll
give us time to get
carry
in
him
the
out when you're
casket.
ready. Or I can carry him out now if you want.
And make me a perception check, please. took you longer than it should have done to realise, but as you now sort of feel your way around the room, look around the room, and sort of that perception around the room, you realise that it was not just the Malt Masters stood at the back, with his back to the wall, steps out of the shadow from behind the door, and you see the full leather armour figure, headband, quarterstaff, and very dark skin of Johannes. Oh boy. Time to say goodbye to a friend.
But I'm also saying hello to an old one, and I'll go and give him a hug.
And while he does sort of greet you in a hug, there is a distance to it. He is quite clearly taken aback by what's happened to Vraco. But he does then sort of look down on you and smiles. New gear?
Yeah, I've had a change of equipment, shall we say? It's a long story. I won't go into it now. But will you be joining us on the road?
Of course. I will pay my last respects to a very good friend.
I'll
And
turn
bring
to
him back over to the group.
Yeah, I'll as he gets pulled in, I'll say, I know we haven't met much, so apologies, but do you need the room for a few minutes?
Oh no, I've had my time with him.
Are you
come to
coming along
terms.
with us?
Yes. I will make the journey.
That's very kind of you.
And then I will return. And we will see what the Malt Masters have for me.
Plenty, I'm sure.
Those sorts of things. Indeed. There are talks of expanding influence, is one way of putting it, but olive branches is the way I see it. Reaching out.
Yeah. Wherever you go, I'm sure it'll be a good result.
Very well. The Wardens, as it is now, I hear. Where will you go next?
We're finally going to go north and see what trouble befalls us in the mountains.
You'll have to take the pass, you realise that, if you wish to traverse the mountains.
Yeah, we knew we'd have to go the pass and under the mountains if these two are
Yes.
these three are to survive. And anything we should know?
Only that the dwarves are secretive and not usually welcoming of strangers.
Now, but you forget how likeable I am and how good at first impressions that we are.
You might want to take something to, take something to offer.
Oh,
What are they like? Gold,
'Cause
jewels?
if he opens his mouth, you're going to have to be making an apology.
It's fairly standard, to be honest.
and I assume he was pointing at Bothrid, so I just turn around and look at Bothrid. We should have kept Moradin's goblet.
You had a goblet to the Orehammer. That would have made a fine offering.
Oh, should I go steal it back?
I was about to say,
No.
let's not steal it back from a temple. And
I'm agnostic, man.
Johannes leans in at this point and just sort of whispers to you, "Well, I'd have got it."
Thank you. A sensible voice. It's good to have one amongst us. That's what Ander needs, enablers.
It's definitely
And with
not
that,
what
the three Mole Masters return. Each with a pack, each with various items. The Cooper is armed to the teeth. There is a great sword, a great axe, a war pick, daggers, various different items, and he is in his full plate armor. Second smack of the microphone tonight. We're in luck. The distiller has just sort of a simple bag over her shoulder, not befitting what you're used to seeing her in. She is still in a very regal-looking dress, but now you can see there are travelling boots and a travelling cloak draped over her arm. Let's have some more whiskey, shall we? Cheers.
Looking at the Cooper, are we not expecting this trip to go well?
Well, this is my, it's really all I have.
Also, Ander, first time we went to Moonbright, Dragon, on the way back, we got buggered over by some, what was it, trolls or giants or something. Every single time we've tried to go to Moonbright, it's ended badly. I would say that's well armoured for the trip.
Well said.
You be glass half empty, I'll be glass half full. That's fine.
The blender is the only one that enters looking most prepared for travel through wilderness and sort of travelling the open road. Simple clothing, a robust pack, a cloak, but not a thick cloak, bearing in mind it's the summer months. And you also notice that Lilith is also stood behind her. Lilith in her usual, more flirty attire, shall we say. Still dressed for travelling, but as always there is a hint of flesh and a very wicked, knowing smile on her face. So the distiller then chimes up.
Could be distracting.
Are we ready then?
I believe so.
Kirik, is there anything you need to do before I pick him up?
What, like universe and go to another dimension?
No, I could perhaps go into a watchtower. I will just cast. I'll just cast Gentle Repose for 10 minutes.
I like this new dynamic. Shade flying everywhere.
Throwbacks to
Burn
last
up
week,
material.
throwbacks to see me. There we go.
Lovely. After
stuff.
after Kirik's finished, then yeah, I will. I'll nod to everyone in the room and then go round and pick him up.
Okay, so Kirik, you gently pull back the cloth that's over the top of him, sort of place a hand on his unarmed hand, and again there is that almost black shimmer, and the scales almost shine a distinct blue. And as you pay more attention to it now, you notice that the blue is it's less of a bright blue, more of a sapphire type gemstone blue. And you place the cloth back over as then Dargon, you step over and you reach your hand underneath and lift your friend, your fallen friend. And there is a sense of solemnity now about the group, all of you, as you walk out. Dargon, you lead the way and everybody follows shortly after.
Can I play respectful music on the pan flute? I'm not sure what that would be.
Make me a performance check with advantage, please.
Don't want to say the funeral march because that's pretty. That's a bit too somber.
That's when we get there.
Wee, natural 20. 32.
Fucking hell.
Wow. You put the pan flute to your lips, you look at Johannes, give him a knowing wink, and then you begin to play a tune which, for anybody that hears it, is just Vraco. It is solemn in parts, but triumphant, and there is a midsection to the song which just this revelry, and for a pan flute, it's bizarre to hear it, but this very, I can't think of the term, but it's that triumphant victory type march before you then return to the solemnity of almost death. And you realise before many of the others that actually you've just crafted a song in perfection of Vraco's life for the time that you've known him. And there is a couple of tears, the distiller, the blender, even the Cooper's face is taut, holding back emotion. Johannes sort of places a hand on Anders' shoulder, as if to say well done. And Dargon, you make your way where you see now 2 draft horses have been tacked up and tied to the front of the wagon. As you lay, then Vraco, Bothrid sort of leans in, opens up the casket itself, and you lay Vraco inside, and then you close it. What you notice as you close it is there is a glow of blue energy that just around the edge, and the casket is sealed. The party now, in some silence, makes their way down out of Castle Maltstack, through the village of Glen Tuag, which has grown slightly now. And more people now begin to gather along the edge of this main thoroughfare, the main road, the main path that leads out of Castle Maltstack, out of Glen Tuag and onto the mountain pass. There are flowers thrown, there are salutes, there are people just paying their respects as the village of Glen Tuag recognises a fallen lieutenant now. As you exit through the gatehouse as well, there is a trumpet blare, or a trumpet, whatever you want to call it. I'm struggling with actual words tonight. It's all going on tonight. But there is a series of trumpet horns that go off in, again, that symbolic nature. And even as you hear it, it's just the sound of somebody passing from this life to the next, almost. That symbol of somebody passing from one life to the next. You make your way along through Glen Tuag and onto the mountain pass, and probably an hour or 2 passes before conversation eventually strikes up, knowing it's going to take more than a day to get down to Moonbright. For the sake of brevity, the journey to Moonbright is uneventful. With a party this size, any small skirmishes that take place, the majority of creatures stay away because there are simply too many of you to really fight. You pass the site of the green dragon battle. The bones of the dragon still there, although less so than when you passed along previously. It's almost been picked of the majority of the claws and the teeth. The skull is gone, but some of the wing bones and sort of you can see some of the spine is still there. And you continue along your journey and eventually find that main road to Moonbright. And over the next couple of days there is light conversation, nothing too serious. You train with the Cooper, Dargon, Kirik, you also get involved in some of this training every now and again. Ander and Johannes go back to doing some training as well, and practicing lockpicking, practicing being stealthy, and you even actually go and hunt with Johannes for some food at one point. Bothrid spends time with the blender, and she talks him through various druidic natures and druidic practices. And over the course of a couple of days, slightly dirtier than when you left, but eventually you reach the gates of Moonbright. And as you arrive, there is almost a guard of honour outside the main gates, word somehow having been sent that you were close. And the priests of Cord now stand in full symbolic armament. You can see there is this plate armor that they all wear, each of them holding a ceremonial spear, as the attendants of Cord then form a column with enough space for you and the party to pass through. And as you pass, as the casket itself passes beyond them, in a very militaristic style, they come to attention, turn inwards, and march behind the party, as then the guards of Moonbright themselves bring the gates and shut them, and an iron bar is dropped. And again trumpets sound out, and you notice just inside the gates of Moonbright the Archdeacon, flanked by a number of these attendants of Cord. And the Archdeacon bows towards the four of you, bows towards the Maltmasters, and then turns to you, Dargon, voice slightly breaking.
Thank you. He is home now.
He is home.
We will take him from here, and we will lay him to rest tonight. Please wash the travel away, prepare yourselves, and join us at the temple.
We'll be
at
there.
sunset.
Sunset it is.
The distiller at this point sort of steps forward past you all, and she takes the Archdeacon's hands in herself, and there are whispered words between the two of them. And he sort of bows and nods. There is an almost stern look, but it passes quite quickly. And you're all led to different abodes. You guys are taken to one of the more upmarket taverns towards the centre of the city itself. Given rooms, given places to wash, those sorts of things, food and drink while you wait. The Maltmasters themselves follow the Archdeacon off towards the temple. Johannes goes and finds a tavern. And the hours pass. Is anybody doing anything while they are here?
I will quickly pop out to see whether I can actually find the same place I did order the clothes from, and just inquire. And obviously I can, I'll say, what went on our end, are they available, blah blah blah, bit of extra coin.
So you make a bit of a mad dash down to the merchant's quarter.
Yeah.
And all the shops, the doors are closed, and there is black pieces of cloth hung where the shop signs once hung, with the symbol of Cord on them. You knock on the door of the one which was sort of the clothing merchant's, the general store as well, and a head pops around the door. Oh, you?
Yeah, my apologies. It's been a hell of a few days for us and months for everyone else, apparently. I was here a couple of months ago. Yeah.
Yes.
You haven't, by any chance, had my commission put to one side, or...?
Of course. We don't... Oh. Travellers are travellers. We always expect you to be back. We are all in a state of mourning in the city, though, so...
Yeah, no, I understand. It was more...
Quietly and quickly.
Yeah, it was, as I say, I kind of wanted to have them for the, for tonight.
As would be fitting. Please, do come in. He sort of opens and ushers you in, and then closes the door. There's a click. The room itself is dark, lit by a few candles, but he disappears into the back and brings forth this this half cloak, this shoulder cloak, in a very sort of rich but dark navy blue colour, with a gold clasp to go around your neck. This very fine trim. Sort of holds it out to you. Hopefully that is, well, as you would like.
Ah, that's absolutely marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. Thank you.
Let's see how it fits quickly.
Yeah.
Sort of helps you sort of place it on and clasp it up and titivates with it a bit, sort of snips a few loose fibres here and there and restitches a few bits. Perfect.
Thank you. I'll toss him an extra because I believe I paid him initially for making it.
You
but
did, yeah.
I'll toss another 10 gold.
And he sort of looks at it and goes, hand you 5 gold back. It's too much, but I appreciate.
Thank you.
Um,
I
well,
will
I
not argue with
I'll
that.
see you later.
Yes, sure you will. I'm hard to miss.
Okay, and he sort of ushers you out.
That's all I
And
do.
you can see now, as you wander back the city itself, there is... The city has been decorated as such, these black flags, cloths, all with the symbol of Cord, that round shield with the 4 lightning bolts coming off it. And you head back to the tavern, and eventually a messenger sends for you, or a runner sends for you all. Everyone having cleaned up, sort of, I would assume everybody polishes their armour and makes themselves as presentable as possible. Bothrid even tries to comb his hair and brush the dirt off and just generally make himself look more presentable. Druid crafts a flower and places it on his breast.
I am deciding, because I have come to the conclusion my outfit isn't appropriate for the occasion, so I'm toying with either using disguise self or the alter self ability of the cloak to give myself a more regal funeral attire.
Now the alter
in
self
disguise self, it says I
ability
can
is
change my
your
clothing.
physical features, is it not?
Okay, alter self, right, I'll use disguise self then, and I'll look the same, but to you it'll just look like I'm in a really nice respectful funeral attire, even though I'm still obviously armoured up to shit just in case.
One of the best uses of disguise self, really.
And probably the only time I'll use it.
No, you need to look like a dwarf
So you
later and
cast-
get in there.
That's true.
You cast
I will be
disguise
a dwarf.
self, and rather than your physical form changing, your clothing takes on a glamour effect of being a bit more simple, less of a dark black leather, more of a rich brown leather with a cloak behind you, more befitting of a funeral, should we say.
You full on Loki it.
Yeah.
Literally, just
As we're leaving...
nice segue into the new series, which we'll be chatting about on Malt Magic and more later.
As we're leaving the tavern, I will also turn to the guys. You know, I mean, I like Vraco, but I never expected the whole city to be in mourning. Weird, but nice. Would you have expected
He
it?
was obviously a great servant of court, and he obviously garnered more respect than we realised.
Yeah. Seems like there's a lot more to know about him than I knew in the time I was friends with him. To be fair,
Perhaps there'll be stories told about him afterwards.
yeah. Fingers crossed.
Cool. So you then follow the runner back, and you are led back towards the temple. And you're not far from the temple, actually. You are in the temple district. You can see the mayor's residence, fully decked out as well. You can see Captain Thorold taking his post front and centre of the mayor's residence as well. And everywhere, more than before, those priests that you once saw in the Crucible in these sort of simple ochre robes, now adorned in this very warlike priest's armour with these silver spears. Very ceremonial. You're led to the temple itself and then round to the side and let in through a side door. And the runner bows then towards the Archdeacon and sort of turns away. And the Archdeacon turns to the four of you. And again in that slightly broken but still strong, still champion-like voice. If you are willing, I would like you to join the procession. Your Malt Masters will be in it too, but knowing how you knew him, I think it fitting that you follow along as well.
It's an honour and a privilege.
Of course.
Very well. And he then takes you through, and you can actually see on the desk in front of him there is a map laid out and instructions, procession orders out to not just the guard but the attendants as well. And he sort of points out where you'll be and the route that the casket itself will take through the city before returning to the temple to be interred. And then once he's explained that all, he turns and says, once it is done, we will inter him inside the temple, in the catacombs, and then, well, I suppose it will be time to celebrate, as is befitting a fallen champion of Cord.
Dargon doesn't say anything.
Very well. And he claps his hands. If you will follow my friend here outside. They're all ready. I just need to finish dressing. And so you're all led outside by the runner, and you see the Malt Masters slightly further ahead of you in the procession. Johannes stands with the four of you, actually. There are various attendants, various other people, some attendants dressed in slightly more regal looking armour than some of the others, but there is this very long procession of people that will be following the casket. The casket now on what looks like a gilded cart with two ice white draft horses, all tied up. Again, they have this sort of plate armour which is almost blue, very shiny silver. It's got a blue tinge to it, each adorned with the symbols of Cord. And eventually then the Archdeacon then comes out, and he is dressed in this, it is very priest-like attire with sort of a cowl and robes, but over that robe is plate armour everywhere. He then carries a shield and takes out a spear. His weapons from the bout in the Crucible also being worn in various places. So he still has his hammer at his side. And you also notice the chainmail underneath the plate armour itself. Make me a very quick investigation check, everyone, or perception check, we'll say, because you're not close enough to investigate.
19.
16.
18.
18. So all of you now manage to notice that even though the plate mail or the plate armour itself is ceremonial, it doesn't look hugely strong for this, for him in particular. Hence, probably the reason for the chainmail.
And he turns to everyone and then in a more commanding voice, let the procession march. And he bangs the spear 3 times on the ground, which itself makes a very distinct bell-like clang, and then moves to the front of the procession and begins a slow march itself. And the procession begins its winding way through the temple district. As it passes the mayor's residence, the mayor steps down with Captain Thorold and makes his way to the back of the procession, which in itself is very symbolic of the hierarchy of this city. Some of the watch as well follow along behind the mayor, and now this sort of very long parade of individuals weaves past the temple district, turns right along through the merchant quarter, and all along the roads and the paths there are just throngs of people. The whole city is out to pay respects to the fallen hero, all adorned in symbols of cord. There are the images of lightning bolts and shields everywhere. Some dressed in armour. You notice some of even the poorer folk of the city dressed in dented and rent armour. We then move past the merchant quarter into the Western Flash. You led through the Western Flash into an area where there is a great fountain, and you notice there is a sign that says Thunder's Reach. You're led along a main path through Thunder's Reach towards the Crucible. And as you reach the Crucible, again there are the sounds of trumpets and cheers. And the voice, or the sound, and the chant of Vraco, Vraco, Vraco fills the air. As you turn from the Crucible itself back down towards the mayor's residence. All of this over probably a couple of hours as you make this slow march and then back towards the temple district. Carry on.
Disguise self runs out after an hour.
Say again.
So I'm not even ready. Disguise self only lasts an hour, so that's awkward.
I will say, for the sake of this, as it is just about to end, there is a brief sparkle of magic that seems to come from further towards the front, and your disguise is maintained.
I will look at the distiller and say thank you with message in red.
And the message that comes back to you in your head, figured you wouldn't want it changing, but your other outfit would have sufficed. It is how he knew you. And as you look forward, you can see that the distiller herself is in her finest dress. The blender has put on an outfit, sort of druidic robes, again almost ceremonial, but made of leaves and vines and almost like silk spider web, it looks in places. Lilith in a usual dress of sorts, and you can see even her mother is looking at as if to say that's not appropriate. Very, very high heel boots over the knee, this sort of flowing cape behind her. The Cooper, his armour polished so it is almost mirror-like, the weapons shining at his belt and on his back. And the procession turns back into the temple district and stops before the great bronze statue of Cord. And with this, the Archdeacon himself bangs his spear 3 times on the ground once more. Turns, stands upon the plinth of the statue and addresses the crowd. Addresses the parade, addresses the city. As you can see, he's just crammed in behind, and the guards, sort of the attendants, keeping a bit of a ring behind the procession itself, as the city now flood not just the sides of this path, but behind as well. And he speaks out to everyone. Great city of Moonbright, the jewel of Cord. Today, we lay rest to one of our champions, one of our heroes. One who not only ascended within our ranks, but saw purpose elsewhere to help this land beyond our city walls. We are joined by his friends and allies as we say goodbye and celebrate the life of our dear friend Vraco. He was and remains one of the greatest, one of the best attendants of Cord I have seen in my many years. And I speak to those attendants now. If you seek example, it lays before you. It is not to dwell on the life that he led towards the end of his days, for that was not Vraco. We remember the hero. We remember the champion. We remember the only one to have defeated me in these good many years. He then steps down and approaches the coffin and places his hand on top, and again in a voice loud enough, but speaking now to Vraco. My friend, our champion, be at peace now. Go and meet our great lord, our great champion Cord. Serve him in his realm. May your blessings be on us as his are on you. He turns, takes the spear, and the procession starts up again, weaving around the bronze statue. And the horses and cart pull up in front of the great steps of the temple, as then a number of attendants come out and they lift the casket together and take it inside. And then, as the attendants go in, a line of attendants stand in front of the temple and they cross their spears as a guard. The archdeacon, the casket, go beyond, as no one else is allowed in, and you all wait. You probably wait for half an hour or more before then the archdeacon comes out, carrying with him a silver chalice with the symbols of Cord around, and he walks back to the bronze statue of Cord, places at the bottom, and then one of the attendants steps forward holding a lit torch, and the archdeacon just places the torch in and the chalice burns. He turns once more. And so we say goodbye. But as we all know, a mortal life is but short. He goes now to fight in the great battles that our deity presides over. Pity not the dead, pity the living. We thank you, Vraco. And he just bows his head. Silence falls. And then he takes the spear after a minute or so. And this time just once. The chalice itself flares and the fire burns over the edge, around the platform and up the bronze statue. And the eyes of the statue of Cord themselves burn with this bright blue fire for a couple of minutes before they slowly die down. And the Archdeacon turns and makes a slow march back towards the temple. The attendants follow. The Malt Masters themselves follow and then turn and sit on the steps as you all, as you have been instructed to do, sit around the edge as well. There are cries, cheers, chants from the city. Flowers are thrown, pieces of armour are thrown as well. You notice that weapons are laid down on the ground. And then silence. Eventually, somebody rolls out a table and chairs and a keg. From the temple itself, the attendants bring out these rather large flasks of what is shown to be wine, as each of you are presented with a cup and the wine poured. Eventually, everybody that you can see has a drink and is seated either on the floor, at a table, on a chair, on the stairs, on the stairs of houses, in windows, in archways. And there is then, as the Archdeacon just steps forward and raises his goblet of wine, there is a cheer that rings out throughout the city, and it is probably one of the loudest cheers you have ever heard. Sounds like it will emanate not just beyond the city, but out into Nylin itself, as Vraco is chanted once more. The Archdeacon takes a sip, and then smiles. We have done well. We have done him right. Now let us celebrate as is worthy of his name. And again there is a great cheer, and there is then a bustle of activity as tables, more chairs are rolled out, and very much like the post-Crucible battle atmosphere, it becomes very celebratory. And drink begins to flow. The Malt Masters themselves seated around the Archdeacon and with the Mayor, as this time, rather than big long tables, there are smaller, more intimate tables. Bards begin to flow out and begin to play, and great stories are told, not just of Vraco, but of the champions of Cord. And I think that is the perfect place for us to take a short break. But before we do so, remember, if you want to win that dice box, you must be active in the chat tonight. We've not had much going on in the chat, so that is my gentle reminder to you all. If you want to win that hexagonal dice box, please do be active in the chat. We will pick the winner at the end, or I will do my very best to pick the winner at the end from the people that are active in the chat. If you want to win yourselves a t-shirt like these, probably not this one, because obviously we need to invert the logo, but like the white ones, or if you want it on grey, we can invert the logo. The choice is yours. We will be picking 2 from among all of our followers. And of course there is the great NPC giveaway, we can call it, a new campaign. As we reach, or as we get to 50 followers, I will be inviting one of those from the 50 to create an NPC to be in this story in Molten Magic in the Forgotten Kingdom of Nylin. So if you want your own piece, or you want the chance to have your own piece of yourself within the story and get involved, then please do be sure to follow us on Twitch. And as we reach 50, we will announce the winner of that as well. That is ongoing as of today. But we will take a short break now. We will be back with you shortly. So get yourselves a drink, get a whiskey if you're so inclined, and we will see what the second half of this episode has to bring.
Hi-oh.
Hey-o.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back. So hopefully in the break you saw the little clip of our special dice box that we're giving away today. So in order for a chance to win that, you must be following us on Twitch, and please do engage in the chat as well. We will be picking from those people who are actively discussing the episode in the chat. Of course, you also have a chance to win the t-shirts just for being a follower, so there will be your choice of colour, and obviously we will improve on this one and invert the logo so you can actually see it. That was a slight mess up on my end, but who cares? We have got the t-shirts. The white ones do look awesome. Yeah, but the dice box is what everybody wants. I want one. So please go and check out Dragon's Knight Designs as well. We will get a link out to them on our social media, so you can go check their great workout, as well as the dice box. And yeah, so shall we get back into the episode?
Yeah.
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 Do you know what I'm nervous about?
So go on.
Chose the title for the episode, which is called Friends and Enemies, and it's all been very nice and pleasant and friendly so far. So I wonder what's going to happen.
That's when Matt says, "Roll initiative." And by the way, this is what's about to happen.
Good stuff.
Do you mean?
So
Can you see it?
I forgot to mention that. Yeah, the roll initiative on the back of the shirt. That's it's just the back of your chair there, damn it. But we got it. So it does say roll initiative on the back of the t-shirts as well. Cool. So picking up where we left off before the break. Obviously, we've just had the internment and the funeral of Vraco, and everybody is now very much in full revelry mode. There are bards, there is drink, there is food being brought out, there are stories being told, and as you pass through the tables you can hear things like, "Oh, do you remember when he did this? Do you remember when Vraco? Can you remember how Vraco?" And just all these stories of Vraco seem to be being told. And as you approach now the table where the Malt Masters and the Archdeacon and a couple of the wardens, not wardens, you're the wardens, the attendants are sat. There is another table to the side where Johannes is sat. There are 4 seats for yourselves. The Mayor and Captain Thorold are also sat at this table. There is wine, there's beer, there is food. Everybody seems to now be in full celebratory mode to celebrate the life of Vraco in probably more gusto than you were expecting for a funeral, to be totally honest. But yeah, so what are we doing?
I will be joining in the merriment and trying to join in with what the bards are doing, because obviously if there's some limelight to be shared, I want my portion. So I will to join the bards in their revelry, telling my stories of Vraco, embellishing my part in his heroics, obviously, as I tell the story.
Good stuff. Make me a performance check, please.
I will. Oh God, I'm scared. I'm going to use a lucky point, because I'm worried about this roll. I'm worried it's going to go tits up. 23. I'm right with that.
23. You do manage to reel off the stories, various stories. You first talk about sort of your introduction to Nylin and your initial journeys with Vraco and your adventures in Telmer, and even that sparks some interesting. And then you sort of talk about the rescue of Vraco, and you twist the story. So you sort of gloss over the details of Vraco's untimely end, but how you yourselves went and rescued him from a whole court of vampires, and then had to rescue him again from the Feywild after a wild magic event, and people are just sort of enthralled and sort of, wow, really? You did that? And you at this point just there like, and make me a perception check, please.
Oh. Whee! 26. I'm on fire.
You notice as you're telling this story that there is a distinct individual who seems to be edging closer and closer. On the face of it, almost unrecognisable, just could be anyone of the crowd, but then as you pay closer attention, you spot a particular dagger at his, or its belt, and there is a serpent's head on the hilt.
Oh, for fuck's sake, here he is. It's been a while, you know, I forgot about him, to be honest. So I've noticed this, haven't I? And then, so I will, am I surrounded by a crowd?
You are.
Obviously, I've got quite an engaged audience, I'd imagine. So I would just, I bid you adieu, ladies and gentlemen. And I will go into the crowd and immediately go invisible. Pull my cloak up.
Okay.
But keeping an eye
Go
on
invisible, and as you
serpent serial killer man.
Maybe a stealth check. In fact, no, you don't need to do that. You definitely don't need to do that. As you sort of go invisible, and the crowd are just there like, where did he go? That was fantastic! You then see this distinct individual with his hand upon the dagger just sort of shake his head and then grab a flagon off someone, down it, and sort of join the revelry and disappears off into the crowd.
Can I see
Kirik, Dargon,
where
go on.
he went? Can I see where he went to track him down?
Make me a perception check with... No, make me a perception check, please.
23 again.
Unfortunately, that is not enough, because I rolled a 19 on the die, which for him is very high for stealth. So,
He gone.
he just sort of blends into the crowd and seems to just drift away. Doesn't come back. And I'll say you keep a close eye out for him. Kirik, Dargon, what are you two doing? Carry on. We'll get to Kirik and Dargon in a minute. Carry on.
I was going to go to Kirik and Dargon and tell them of our unwanted guest.
Okay. So, while that's happening, Kirik and Dargon, you are...
keeping back from the festivities, not in a solemn way, just as has been his way quite recently. Large crowds, not so fun.
Fair enough. Kirik?
Yeah, a little bit of the same. Just drinking very quietly, but just yeah. The ritual's done, so to Kirik is now about next thing, just going up north. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Bothrid, however, is fully invested. He's there, wine in hand, sat listening to stories of Vraco, and he's sort of fully engaged and reeled in. As then Ander pops out of almost nowhere behind you as he takes the hood down and reappears.
We have an unwanted guest.
Who's that?
The serpent has reared his head.
What serpent?
I like that.
I'm trying to be cryptic as not to alert the other guests, but you know the buyer's henchman, murderer, evil wrongdoer man. He's here. He's looking for me. I've slipped him, but he's also. I've lost him. I don't know where he is, but we need to be on our guard.
I honestly almost had an Ander moment and had to ask Blair whether you meant a digit or not, but...
I'm being respectful, it's a funeral. I will not do any finger banging tonight.
It is indeed. Well, it's a wake at this point, but yes.
Yeah.
Maybe we just keep our eye open, but we don't intend to stay here long, so there's not much they can do.
Are we in... Yeah. Ander, are you telling us that we need to head out during festivities or not? I'm happy either way. Well, I'm not going to lie.
I'm just thinking, this is the perfect cover to get rid of someone while everyone's distracted. I'm not saying we have to leave the celebrations because I don't want you to have to finish paying your respects early, but I just want you to keep your wits about you. And I think we should probably stick together.
Yeah, alright. Happy to stick together. I suppose there's more people around here. If we wander off now, if there's no one else in the city, they could get the jump on us potentially, couldn't they?
Do you think we should alert the guard?
Yeah. If they've been here this long, living in Moonbright, pretty sure I ain't gonna do shit.
And looking at the guard, they seem to be
ceremonial.
Exactly
I think's the word you're looking for. Either that, or how about we try a little bit of well, you'll have to remind me if we need this, but can't we see if we can square it away with them? Whatever's the past. Can we try and get another ally, or are you too far gone with them?
Do you mean a bribe? Essentially.
Well, okay, if that's what you have to do. It was more the fact of, can we not just talk to them, help each other out? They're quite helpful to us, aren't they? Or aren't they? I'm a little lost on it.
Sorry, I thought you was on about Serpent Man. You meant the guards, didn't you?
No, I am talking about Serpent Man.
Oh, okay. I don't know. He seems... I'll be honest with you. I think he's more unhappy with the fact that I tried to impersonate one of his gang members, and I honestly failed miserably. So I think he seems to be holding quite the grudge. So I don't think I could talk him round. But I'm always willing to try. You know me, I am a charming individual. But I think he is beyond my power, to be honest.
Alright. Well, we've either got to talk to him, run away from him, kill him, or nothing. So...
I say we just keep an eye out. If someone walks to Ender with intentions of hurting, then we can stop them.
Unless after downing a flagon of wine, he starts to feel a bit brave. Unless I use myself as bait and draw him out.
You could try that.
As long as you don't get pulled into another gang war within the city, we have a job to do after all.
I say we keep an eye out. We head home when everyone else heads back. When it all calms down, we get a night's sleep. Head out in the morning.
As you say, Gaga.
Okay, everybody make me perception checks, please.
Nine.
Dirty 20.
Oh, 22.
Ander and Dargon, at the same time, having now been sort of told of the description of this individual, and while you're sort of drinking a little bit but engaging generally a little bit more in the party, so to speak, in the wake, you both notice an individual dressed in relatively plain clothing, but you both see the dagger with the head of a serpent disappear. This figure sort of exits the crowd and makes their way down a dark alley, sort of looking around behind them, and then they just disappear and wander down the alley.
Okay.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. No, what I was going to do is say, if I can fucking find it, what was he standing there for long?
No. He was
Fine.
sort of literally walked out the crowd, looked around, but with that high perception, you literally jumped straight towards the waist, saw the dagger, saw them disappear down this alley.
Cool.
And I mean, bearing in mind the temple itself is in almost a corner of the city, this dark alley seems to lead towards the city walls.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to find it in my character sheet to know whether I can do this or not. So crack on.
What are you trying to do?
I was trying to do that. Trying to perceive the. Try and learn stuff about him. Fucking knows if I remember where it is either.
Should be features and traits, I think.
That
Yeah.
is know your enemy.
That was it. There it is. Found it. That's fine. I need a minute. So.
Yeah, it's not quite
No.
a minute. It's not long enough for you to really.
No,
get that.
that's fine. I just thought I'd wing that one. Just thought I'd try it.
So if I've seen where he went, I notion to Dargon, as if to say, should we follow?
He's a bit leading, mate. If he wants to fuck off out the festivities, why don't we just have a bit of a nice time? Look, if they try something here, it's going to be their downfall. If we follow them, we can look like we're picking a fight. As much as I love a fight, maybe not tonight.
Cool. So we're just engaging the rest of the week, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So
We
eventually,
will regret that.
after some hours, the tables and chairs begin to be drawn back. People start filtering home. The Archdeacon himself stands, having had a little bit too much, sways slightly, but holds himself, and you can see there is still a strength to him. Well, we have certainly drank to my friend. And he looks down at the Malt Masters now. What we have discussed. I agree. It is time for bridges to be mended. Let us be allies once more. To bed for me now. But let us discuss more in the morning. Maybe close to lunchtime. And the mayor at this point stands. The mayor's been relatively quiet, just sort of almost enduring the occasion. More of a political figure than anything else. And eventually the street's empty and you yourselves find yourselves wandering back towards the tavern. As you all head back towards the tavern, there are screams that start filtering throughout the city.
Oh.
Blood-curdling screams, and then great gouts of fire start appearing from everywhere, and you hear this huge explosion coming from where the temple is. As now what was once a feeling of celebration turns into just an air of terror as people begin to sort of dash through the streets now, diving from houses. You can see mothers and fathers grabbing their kids and beginning to run in all directions. There is just widespread panic, and fire seems to be burning throughout the city. Where are we going?
Did somebody find my necklace of fireballs?
Looks like it. It's a temple.
To the temple, boys!
So the four of you instantly turn on a dime and sprint back towards the temple. And I think at this point it's probably apt to pull up a map.
Oh boy.
So, as you all sprint back towards the temple itself is in bits. The windows, the great stained windows with sort of almost like mosaic-like images of Cord and battles are blasted out. The walls are in pieces. The great bronze statue of Cord is broken and scattered everywhere. There are pools of blood here and there, and you see the bodies of fallen attendants of Cord as you now approach this scene. And as you approach, let's just move everyone over here actually before we do anything else. Beyond the broken statue of Cord, you can see the Archdeacon engaged as there are these fallen attendants around him with a huge red-skinned winged beast.
Fuck.
This steel mace in hand of this beast. And I would like us all to roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Hold on to your nutsacks.
Okay.
I'm happy with that.
11.
20.
20. 11 for Kirik. Dargon?
17.
17. Let's pull up Bothrid. That's an 8 for Bothrid. What you also now notice is the blender, the cooper, the distiller, Lilith, Naethim and Thalania Witchwood, and a whole host of others have joined the fight. I am going to ask you all to roll me either a nature check or a religion check to identify what this red-skinned thing is. More religion
So you
if
said
you're
nature,
proficient with it.
religion.
Nature or religion.
Natural 20. 21.
Oh,
24.
Thank God. My dice just flew off. I'm rolling ass tonight. 9.
Sorry, yeah, that deserves a photo.
So Dargon, Ander, you both instantly recognise. Ander, somehow you've plucked this out of, I don't know, something, but Dargon, you, with your knowledge from the temple that you previously once guarded, you understand that this creature is actually a pit fiend.
Pit Fiend, Jesus.
Fuck
Oh,
me.
good. Oh,
Go,
good.
yes,
good,
wonderful. Absolutely amazing. Smashing.
And as you approach, and the pit fiend and the archdeacon are engaged, you also now notice in these sort of bursts of fire, these strange tentacle bearded creatures appear.
Nope.
And then
Nope.
in front of you, this black plated figure with a burning lance stands before you, and there is also a gout of fire that erupts in front of the temple itself, leading to believe another of these individuals has just appeared. I have got a shit ton of initiative to quickly roll now, so bear with me just a second.
Okay, boys and girls, what is going to happen now?
He's taking a piss now, anyway, this.
Oh boy.
I said there'd be surprises.
Yeah, so we have... Guys, do we think it is the Pit Fiend, or is this another minion?
It's a Pit Fiend.
It's a Pit... Sorry, I know it's a Pit Fiend. I mean, you know...
It's not... I don't think it's the patron.
No,
because...
no, I don't know, but I suppose that a check at some point is going to be very useful to find out. The other thing is... well, we're going to have to fight... Does this armoured burning knight look awfully... Not identical, but awfully similar? Just
so I will say with that, they do look slightly similar to what you engaged in the temple, but not the same.
Yeah.
Oh, one's directly in front of me. Oh, God.
Oh, have I completely missed a map?
Yeah.
Where have I missed a map? Hang on.
Matt sent you the Albert Rodeo.
That was the
chat.
one. That was the one, that's why I haven't got it up.
I have to say, there's a lot more enemies than I was hoping for. How big is that Pit Fiend? He's fucking huge.
So guys, you know, okay, right, my Lord
They've just seen the map and
Almighty.
his bumhole's twitching.
It is twitching. Oh dearie me. Oh dearie me.
Good stuff. So I am
We've got
almost
the distiller
there.
and stuff, so we've got the Cooper. He's going to fuck people up, isn't he? Hopefully.
Okay, we're going. So, as this all unfolds, and you can see that the Malt Masters, it looks like Nathan Thalani have just appeared out of nowhere, but with these strange bearded creatures, the Pit Fiend and these armoured figures now, the distiller in between sort of these bearded figures and the armoured figures, just looks back, sees you next to the armoured figure, turns her attention to one of these bearded creatures. One is next to the Cooper. She is going to look directly towards Bearded B here. And what is the distiller going to do? You are going to have to bear with me, folks. There is a lot to get through tonight now. She is immediately going to...
Teleport us all to safety.
She's going to step forward 5, 10, 15,
Power
20, get to and is going
No, just hoping. Okay.
going to cast, takes out a book and begins flicking through the pages very quickly.
Watch me roll a natural 20 on a religion check and a natural 1 on an attack.
And then takes out from a pouch 2 items, what looks like a leaf and a strange slimy substance, and then points a hand as this green shimmering arrow just flies out towards this creature. That is going to be one of them for a 28 to hit on
Nice.
Bearded B. That's going to hit. And it's then going to be 10 points of acid damage. On the right one, Matt. There we go. So Bearded A is then going to immediately, against the Cooper, is going to try and make 2 attacks. The beard itself just sort of flies out towards the Cooper. That is definitely going to miss. That's a 17 and it's the Cooper. There's no way that's hitting. So misses with that one, and then you see them bring this glaive across towards the Cooper as well. Natural 20.
Oh!
That one's gonna hit. So that's gonna be crit damage roll. That was pretty piss poor on the dice. That's going to be 7 points of slashing damage against the Cooper. And then Cooper needs to make a Constitution saving throw. I've got so many tabs open right now. Rolled a 2, which is a 13. Just saves on that. That was not a good roll. As this glaive sort of slices across. Ander.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm next. Oh, I didn't expect to be up. Right, so there's a infernal flaming beast right in front of me, right? So I will cast Dissonant Whispers at 2nd level. So that is a Wisdom 15 you got to beat. Please.
Sorry, you are casting that at who?
The one that's directly in front of me.
I've given away the name there.
Nazugon B.
Nazugon B.
Yeah.
Okay, so that needs to be a Wisdom saving throw, you say?
Yes, please.
14.
Yes, you fail. So, you must now move as far away from me as you can, and you will take 4d6 psychic damage.
Bear with.
Nice.
Good.
Got advantage on that save. Rolled a 21.
That's very. That's a dickhead move there.
It is, and because I forgot, I'm
So
kind
nothing
of
happens.
inclined to take the former, so I'm going to let you off. No, it fails, because that's my fault.
Whee!
So it
Whee!
fails, and it needs to now move as far away from you as
Peer
possible.
pressure.
Or on its turn, it needs to move as far away from you as possible, yeah?
Must immediately use its
Is it
reaction.
immediately
to
or
fuck
on
off.
its turn? Okay,
Use
so it
its
uses its reaction to 30 feet, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, gets to there. As it just
And then
turns around
11
and
psychic damage.
11 psychic damage to B. Okay. Anything else on your turn, sir?
I want you to bonus action. I will grant bardic inspiration to Kirik using my bog standard bird whistle that I do for him, and now that is a D8 for you to use.
Sweet.
In the
There we
next 10 minutes for
go.
any
Nice tasty little
abilities.
level up there.
So that's because it's magical inspiration. Thanks to Tasha, it's a save and throw ability check, spell damage or spell healing. You can add it to.
Cheers.
Nice. And that's me.
Good stuff. That's you. Okay. The other one of these black plated flaming figures is going to step up 5, 10, 15 behind the Archdeacon.
Yeah,
gonna
Archdeacon's
make-
in trouble.
Oh shit, yeah.
Okay. Let me just see.
It's
You need to get
badass.
over there, Dogon.
Go on, Dag.
Okay, it shouts this command in a language which I don't believe anybody speaks. Does anybody speak Infernal?
Oh no! If you just said Abyssal, it would have been away.
Yeah, I think we all know Abyssal. Nope. Not me.
Okay. So it speaks this word, and you can see just about that this creature, and this creature. If I remember rightly. No. Yes, sorry. So those three. So bearded B, C, and D all seem to sort of shoulder their weapons a little bit more and seem to catch their resolve as this command is shouted. And it definitely sounds like a command, even you can even get that even though you don't understand the language. And then in fact he's not going to quite move. Yeah, he's going to move that. Is then going to spin this lance that burns with this hellish fire. Spin it around 3 times to try and catch the Archdeacon. So the first time is going to be an 18, which is going to hit. So we're going to roll all 3 of these in one go. So the first is an 18, second's a 24, third's a 26. So all 3 of those are going to hit. So that's going to be 7, 15, 24 points of piercing damage on the Archdeacon initially. Ooh. And then an additional 21, 36. Shit. 57 points of fire damage on the Archdeacon. As these flaming strikes just against the Archdeacon. That is its go. And yes, so then Bearded Bee is not a happy bunny that the distiller has just attacked it, so it is then going to step to there. Nope, it is going to move one closer, going to step right up to the distiller and is going to try and attack with its beard first.
His beard?
That is a 9 to hit. Yeah. So you notice that this beard that grows out is like, it's almost like tentacles, but they are barbed in a way, and they just sort of swing around as this creature moves its head. You notice that they are purple-skinned or pinkish purplish skinned creatures. They carry these huge glaives, this beard, greenish hair, long clawed hands and feet, and this tail that whips out behind them. So I said that was a 9 to hit the distiller, which luckily does not hit. And then the glaive spins round. That is a 17, which will hit the distiller. That is going to be 9 points of slashing damage against the distiller. And she then needs to make a con saving throw. Fucking smashes that, an 18. Cool. So that's go. Bearded C is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 up towards Thailania. Is then going to try and attack with his beard. That is a 15, which is not... Oh, it does hit Thailania, sorry. Shouldn't hit Thailania. What have I done there? Okay, we'll say for the sake of it, I've made a cock up, so that's going to hit anyway. Because I can't bother to fix it. So that's going to be 9 points of piercing damage. And then a con saving throw. So much shit to do. 15 saves. Then going to attack her with a glaive. Misses. Dargon.
Here he goes.
Alright then.
Here he goes. Charge!
Sorry. Right. With sword out, two-handed, I will find myself on the map there
You're all in one line.
We are all in one line because apparently we're at a parade. Looking at the god-awful map, not map, but battle ahead of us, seeing that the Archdeacon is thoroughly surrounded and the other people may or may not have it, sort of, undercover so far, I will turn to Ander first. And I will reread what I just read before, and so much shit has gone on, I forgot. Sorry guys, this is new. I will use my bonus action, and I will turn to Ander, and I will say, be as swift as the wind, boy. Look after these boys. And I will use my rally to roll a superiority die and give him some temporary HP.
Hey!
Nice.
Yeah!
Yay, Battle Master.
Yeah.
New features, motherfucker!
I'm already regretting it.
Changing subclasses halfway through a campaign to keep us on our toes.
Right, if I can roll...
Thank you, Tasha.
Yeah, right. You get 6 temporary hit points.
Turn that way.
I'll take that.
Nice.
Very good, very good, very good.
Okay, that was my bonus action. I will then also turn to Kirik and say, Kirik, get me up next to the Archdeacon now. And I will hold my action until I am within range. And I will hope that he understands what I mean. But I'm going to take 2 swipes at... probably the armored.
Big muff.
No, the other one. Yeah, the armored knight.
Okay, so that's when you're within range.
I'm
When
holding
you're within range,
holding
you
my
get 2
action
swipes.
to do that.
Cool. I'm going to make an ass tonight. Can you guys remind me when you've got stuff held or on? Because I've got a lot of shit to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely fine. You've got so much shit
Thank
going
you very
on
much.
here.
Nope.
I've already got Danny reminding me to move the map because I'm being a pleb.
That's fine. Cool. Anything else on your turn, sir?
Not until that.
If you want to make it simpler, mate, you can
Nathan
remove some
is
of
then
them.
going to wing around his wife and from his back takes this staff, and this staff itself looks like almost like a vine type thing, but it ends in this very withered hand that is just sort of grasped like that. And he's going to point the staff towards Bearded Sea and is then going to cast at second level. Has he also... no, sorry, he's not. That's the wrong spell. Let's look at the right spell for starters. Is then going to point the staff forwards and, using a charge of the staff, casts Inflict Wounds as the staff itself connects with the creature. That is going to be one of them to hit. That's going to be a 14 to hit Bearded Sea, which will hit. That is then 14 points of necrotic damage. Bearded Sea. Okay, let's have a quick look at Nathan. Okay, that's Nathan's go. Who's next? The Blender is then going to step up and she is going to point towards Narzagon B, or to call them by what they're called. She's not going to fuck around.
Good.
I say she's not going to fuck around. She is then going to click her fingers and takes out with one hand, as she clicks her fingers, of a bag these seed-like items and this opalescent item, and as she clicks her fingers, this beam of moonlight just shines down. Now I also have to do something else very quickly.
I approve.
Sorry, when I search for the right thing. Because I've been busy. Except Owlbear Radio
Like
is
this
not
battle music.
yet. This is always our battle music.
I like it.
Got 4 other choices, but this is the end game type of fighting, you know.
Yeah, considering it sounds as if there is a pick fiend. It does work with the music.
I think it is actually called end game as well.
Bear with me, folks.
For anyone looking out there, we obviously, as we have said, we've used you know, a number of different things from Battle Bards, but as well as Tabletop Audio, who are, you know, also amazing, and they have, you know, some of the stuff comes from there. But yeah, check them both out because they're amazing.
It does look like we've just rocked up, as in Endgame. We've all just come out of a portal, all in a line, ready to
On your
go
left.
in the battle pose.
Oh, done.
I know. Oh. Oh my god.
There it is. Right, found it.
Nice. What is
Okay,
that?
that is larger than it should have been.
I'll take it. I'll
So
allow
I'm just
it.
going to shrink that down just so it's that size. And this beam of moonlight, this silvery beam of pale light just shines down. And these ghostly flames begin to burn across Narzagon B. It needs to make a Constitution saving throw. It's going to have to do well. Literally just makes the save with an 18.
That's not what you want.
That is not what you want. Okay. And it is going to take half of that damage. So we'll roll the damage. So it would have been 42 damage. Instead, it's going to be 21 points of radiant damage.
Fucking hell,
Now.
loads.
Yep, fine. So 21 points of radiant damage to Narzagon B. Sorry about the delay there, folks. Okay,
Ready
on
to
to
start killing
then
these
Kirik.
motherfuckers.
Me. I will look at Dargon and understanding what he means, I hope. I will move 10 feet here and I will launch my cape of the mountebank around the two of us, and we are both going to teleport whap, there.
Nice.
Okay, so one there. Yep, Kirik's got himself there. Cool. So, Dargon, as you land, 2 swipes against Narzagon A, please.
Yes.
And you will get your extra damage on this.
Cool. That was my next question. Just bear with one extra thing, which will be
Provided you hit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So just need to find my dice. First attack. First attack is. Oh, for God's sake! Oh, it's rubbish. 14.
14. You swing king catch against the shield that Narzagon lifts, or the Narzagon A just lifts up.
Little dizzy from that
This
dimension
lance is
door.
held
Never
in
done
the
that
other
before.
It was
Oh,
it
yeah,
was a
you
bit
haven't.
quick for you, just like
It was,
oh, shit.
yeah. It was a bit quick. The next one is a 20, dirty 20 to hit.
Is the magic number.
Oh,
So this time you sing, and the blade, Dawnbringer herself, as she whispers, "Enough," strikes in and catches Narzagon A just at the shoulder joint, in between sort of the pauldron and the plate armor that comes down the arm. As you
Okay.
just ching into the side there. Roll damage.
yeah. Initial is 13 points of slashing damage.
13 points of slashing damage.
And then... Oh, God. Then... Sod it, just grab them. That's the ones. Yeah, that was rubbish. Another 11 points. Yeah, 11 points of radiant damage.
11 points of radiant damage. Cool. So that's yours. Kira, back to
yes.
you, because you have used your action, I believe.
Yep. And then I will...
Anything else?
Go ahead.
So I was going to ask, you use your reaction to hold an action, is that right?
Use your reaction to use your... Yeah.
Yeah, so I've used my reaction
The reaction
as well.
to trigger.
Yeah, fine, cool.
Yeah.
And then I will move 5, 10, 15, I guess. Just get a little bit out of the way. Yeah, that looks
Hop
good.
over
And
the boulders and
Yep.
stuff.
and I will end my turn.
Okay, you end your turn there. And then we are over to the Archdeacon himself. The Archdeacon, as a... Okay, so there is an aura around him anyway. So, Dargon, you can't be frightened,
Sweet.
and while you remain there, your movement speed currently has an extra 5 feet.
Oh, nice.
No, sorry, increases by 10 feet.
Even better.
You also have a +1 bonus to all saving throws.
Nice.
And then you see these incorporeal wings just burst out from the Archdeacon himself. And yeah, he now has the great hammer with the symbol of Cord burned into the side of it. He is going to attack once with the hammer against the Pit Fiend, actually. So that is going to be a 19 to hit, which is the magic number for that one.
Some high ACZ.
And we're going to roll the second one as well, just to see what happens. The second one misses. So with the first one, because he is wielding this two-handed, so that's going to be 1d8 bludgeoning damage initially, so that's a full 18 max damage on that one. So 18 bludgeoning damage, an extra 15 radiant damage from the fact that he is now in that sort of angelic-like form, and then of course he is going to throw a smite into that.
Yeah.
He is going to throw in a staggering smite, which is going to be an additional 4d6 psychic damage. So that's 10 psychic damage as we cast that. 10 psychic damage, and then, as I just mute that tab, it's because it's making all sorts of noises in my head. So the Pit Fiend needs to make a Wisdom saving throw. Be amazed if it fails. This one does not fail, and so is not staggered. No disadvantage on its saving throws and ability checks. Next up is Narzagon B, who is currently in the middle of said Moonbeam. So it needs to make another Constitution saving throw. Again, if it fails this, I'll be amazed. So succeeds. So it's going to take half damage again from the Moonbeam. Just cast at second level. So that would have been 30 damage in total. That's going to be 15.
Ooh.
15 points of damage, of radiant damage, as these ghostly flames continue to burn over the top of it. Narzagon B is then going to step out 5-10. I need the Blender to then make a quick Wisdom saving throw. No fucking way. Okay, so the Blender is now afraid. Nope, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong creature. Ignore that.
Does the Moonbeam follow the dude, or does the Moonbeam stay in the same place?
No, the Moonbeam's just in place, so it just shines down currently on the place where it's at. In fact, we should probably put that where it was, in proper place. So the Blender didn't need to make that check because I was looking at the wrong creature. Instead, nothing's in range, so we're going to get 3 lance attacks against the Blender.
3.
Oh dear.
First one's a 16, which will hit. First one's a 16, that will hit. Second one is a 25, that's going to hit. Third one is a 28, which is going to hit. So all 3 of those hit. So that is going to be 16, 17, so that is 32, 33, and then 39 points of piercing damage initially.
Oh.
Followed by an additional
My muscles are going to die.
10, 25, 36 points of fire damage against the Blender.
Oh.
To be fair, it is an anniversary episode. You've got to kill off some main characters, haven't you?
I'm also guessing that the Malt Masters are pretty heavy duty.
Well, we will see what happens. The Pit Fiend.
Oh yeah.
So, Dargon and the Archdeacon, I need you to make me a Wisdom saving throw.
Fucking brilliant.
Oh.
Great at them.
You're the... Yeah. Come on, Dave, get a 20 out.
I will.
The Deacon got a 20.
I will. Bear with. Using
Don't
Domitable.
forget to... I was going to say, don't forget to do your +0.
Yeah, I know. Okay, that's better. I'm so glad I used my Indomitable. You said I had a +1 to the saving row from the Archdeacon.
This doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This does not matter. As this aura just bleeds out from this Pit Fiend, you are immune to being frightened because of the aura from the Archdeacon.
Yes!
And the Archdeacon at this point just looks up and you can see almost the sparks of lightning energy coming off the Archdeacon's eyes as these huge great white wings burst out behind him. The pit fiend just sort of... It is then going
Can I take that Indomitable back, or...?
Oh yeah, of course you can. You don't have to use that at all.
Cheers.
Whee!
That was me literally
that
reading
later.
through about 4 pages of
I'm
shit
gonna-
before I could go,
Oh, yeah,
no, you
yeah,
don't need to do that.
yeah, that's cool.
So there's going to be a bite attack against the Archdeacon. 32 to hit.
Yep.
22 points of piercing damage initially. And then an additional Constitution saving throw. Fails. Okay. The Archdeacon is now poisoned.
Ah!
So,
That's inconvenient.
green for poisoned. Which also means he has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls from here on in.
No.
Then a claw attack is going to come in with a 22, which is just going to hit. The claw attack is then not as much, 15 points of slashing damage. However, at this point, the Archdeacon blood starts to just drip from him. Then there's going to be a mace attack as this steel mace just swings down, bludgeons him across the face with a 25 to hit. That's definitely going to hit. That is 15 points of bludgeoning damage plus an additional 14 points of fire damage. That is going to be a 29 points of damage total.
Ah, go away, you.
And then finally the tail whips round for a 34 to hit because that was a natural 20.
Ooh!
So the Archdeacon then takes an additional 44 points of bludgeoning damage as this tail
Fucking hell.
straight
Sorry,
into
I
the
was
Archdeacon.
mute. I did say Sentinel on that. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was literally going. I was just going. Hang on a minute. Do you not care
I
about
said
him?
I said it, but it was mute. I'm sorry. I was like 44. That's like, dude, roll like. I don't know. Yeah. No, Sentinel.
Okay, so that
yeah.
would have been... Oh, I can't even bother doing the math. That'll be 21 points. I'll just flip it again. 21 points of bludgeoning damage on the Archdeacon.
Sounds about right.
21 points. There's apparently a new version of Stream Deck is available.
Yeah, it literally just came up on in front of the map. I'm like, oi, go away! Like, what are you doing?
Bothrid. Bothrid is going to do what Bothrid does best. Bothrid is...
Going on rage.
So
Jump to
Bothrid
cracker.
is going to rage
first round.
as there is just this roar from him as the blender is being engaged. And if you remember from a few hours earlier, the blender and Bothrid were engaged in druidic conversation. Bothrid, as he rages,
Tag team.
cannot wild shape, so instead is going to take out the double-bladed quarterstaff, or already has it in hand. He's then going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, up to there, and of course is going to unleash on Nazagon B.
Do it.
First roll was not great. That is a 12 to hit. In fact, What am I forgetting, people? What am I forgetting?
Reckless.
Reckless.
Especially what he's doing.
Because
That
to be
would have been
fair,
advantage.
the Nazagon is gonna hit him anyway.
Yeah.
So the first one's going to miss anyway,
Oh, fuck.
even with reckless.
Oh, no.
However, the second attack with advantage. Let's roll. 29. There's a natural 20 in that motherfucker.
Yeah! That's what Reckless is for!
Sentinel.
Does Ander just shout that from where he is?
13 points of slashing damage against Narzagon B, who is not looking good, funnily enough. Is now like this fiery blood is just beginning to drip, and Bothrid is going to use his bonus to then attack again. Can't use his bonus because he's raged, ignore that. So that'll be Bothrid's go. So, Bearded D. Where the fuck is Bearded D? Bearded
South
D
of
is
us,
down
I think.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, is going to move 30 feet. Doesn't need to. 5, 10, 15, 20 up to the Archdeacon. Going to try and attack with its beard.
He's going to die.
Misses. Tries to attack with the glaive. Definitely misses. Just this beard sort of whips past, and as the glaive comes in, the Archdeacon at the last minute just cling, catches it. That will be Bearded D. The Cooper has entered the battlefield. The Cooper is not happy in the slightest. Looks around, sees the fact that his allies, his friends are in danger, and is going to, with 4 attacks per turn.
Jesus.
Yes.
First,
Ooh.
takes out this huge greatsword, double-handed, and is going to swing towards Bearded A.
High level
He can come again.
fighters.
Yeah, if that hasn't hit, I'll be amazed. That was a 32 to hit. That is definitely going to hit. So, Bearded A is going to take an initial 15 points of slashing damage. Where are we? There you are, that one. Cool. He's then going to swing again. Yeah, definitely hits again. Not rolling so good on the damage. That is 14 points of damage against Bearded A. Rolls again. Almost a natural 20. That's a 33 to hit. 10 points of damage. Roll 2 1s on the dice. But the Bearded Devil at this point, there is just bits flying off as the Cooper just... Final attack from the Cooper. Natural 20.
Hey!
That will be 23 points of slashing damage. And as that final blow comes in, you see the Cooper just slashing across, brings it up and cuts this bearded thing in half as the glaive falls to one side. Purplish,
Get him.
steaming blood just flies out, and Bearded A is out. The Cooper
Nice.
then, as a bonus action, is then going to shout to the distiller with a rallying cry when I can find it. So we're going to roll a superiority die. Max.
Hey!
So the
Nice.
distiller is going to get 12 temporary hit points. As he just yells towards the distiller, "Defend yourself!" And yes, that is the Cooper. Then we are over to Lilith. I've got so many NPCs. So many NPCs. Lilith is going to turn round to where Narzagon B is, and Lilith is going to lots of spells, lots and lots and lots of spells. However, Lilith is going to reach forward and again takes out this sort of pinch of dust and what looks like a lodestone and just points forward as this bolt of greenish energy just bursts forth from Lilith's finger. Narzagon B is going to have to make a dexterity saving throw. And just meets it.
Oh, come on.
Just meets it with an 18. And so doesn't take any damage.
Oh, that's a shitter.
Oh, was that disintegrate?
It was disintegrate.
Ah.
That was a 6th level spell slot. Just
Oh.
Yep.
That hurts.
Yep. It's a big hit,
bonus
though, if it hits.
actions. Bonus actions. Maybe sorcery points. Yeah, okay. She's going to burn 6 sorcery points to gain that spell slot back.
Nice.
Okay. That is Lilith. Thailania. We're getting through all these NPCs today.
Again, getting to see them all now. That's awesome.
You are getting to see them all. It's kind of a point I wanted to do. She takes out, or she's holding this barbed sword, which is glowing with this sort of blue purplish energy. She's going to place Hexblade's Curse on Bearded Sea.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, where the hell are we? Oh. I'm on it.
And is then going to attack with her sword twice. So the first one's going to come in.
Awesome map, by the way, Matt.
Yeah, that's
awesome
going to hit
map.
26. Thank you very much. And the second one is a 22, which I think both of those should hit. Yep, both of those are going to hit. So back to Thailania. What did I roll? So two-handed twice. That is going to be 14. 33 plus Hexblade's Curse, which was on twice, which is plus 6, so plus 12. So what did I say? 23 plus 12, 25, 35 points of damage to Bearded Sea. Where's Bearded Sea? A, B, C. Ooh. Bearded Sea is almost dead. Literally, she sort of cuts in, and this, again, purplish blood just splatters against trees and stone floor and sort of sizzles as Sea sort of staggers around a little bit. I'd like to point out this is still the first round of combat. Now, as this is all happening, you will
I'm calling
witness.
sick for work.
You witness running from out of the trees from the right hand side, another figure enters the battlefield. This very beautiful woman, flowing blonde hair, pinkish dress, as the Enchantress appears out of nowhere almost, and she is then going to
zoom the fuck out to find her. Where is she? There she is. Hey!
She's going to run up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 up to Bearded Bee, and she is just going to simply use Eldritch Blast. In fact, she didn't need to. She's going to stand all the way back there where she was, because that's 120 feet range. Just reaches forward as this arc of energy streaks out from her. That is a +10 to hit. Be good.
That's a no. That's a no.
I think it still hits. It still hits. We're good. 1 over the armor class. That is then 11 points of force damage against Bearded Bee. Sorry. A B, 11 points of force damage as this arc of energy just out. And we're around to the top with the Distiller.
Finally!
Who this time is seeing that Bearded Bee is not looking particularly healthy. Oh no, so Bearded Bee's still potentially up. Again, let's have a look. What have we got? What have we got? Too many spells is what we've got. Yeah. Bollocks to it. She's just gonna again flick through the pages of her book. She is then going to smack her hands together, and as she smacks her hands together, the book on a string just sort of swinging down to her side, this roar of fire energy just casts out. She casts Burning Hands. That is going to be a dex save from Bearded Bee. Not got a good dex. It's not going to do it with that. It's going to take 3d6 points of fire damage, so it's going to take 10 points of fire damage. And as this fire damage just roars out, Bearded Bee just stands there and the fire just licks over it. No damage.
Oh, fuck.
Just smiles. Ander.
Can I see Nazagon B? Because Buffer's kind of in the line of sight, but do I have a clear shot on
You can
Nazagon
see him.
B?
Yeah, you can see
Right
him.
then. I will use steady aim to then
Yeah.
get advantage on my bow attack.
You don't have to, you've got
I might
Bufford
have-
next to him, haven't you?
But that gives me sneak attack. But I want advantage
Yeah.
to see if I get a 20.
Sorry, yeah, ignore me.
Which I did not get, but it's okay. 25 to hit
That will hit.
with 14 piercing damage. Added
Strikes him.
with 17 sneak attack damage, and because I got to use my sneak attack, I get to add an extra 1d4 because of my bow. Oh, it's only an extra 1. An extra 1.
Additional 1 point of damage. The Nazagon Bee just sort of steps back for a second, sort of, then steps forward, staggered on its feet, not looking good in the slightest. Anything else on your turn, sir?
Boom. Now I've used my bonus action for steady aim, so I cannot do anything.
Okay. Nazagon
I'm
A
starting to kill
is
it.
then going to... Ba-dum. Shouts a command out which Dargon and the Archdeacon, you yourselves feel sort of wash over you. You can feel the fear sort of try to seep in, but then no, not going to happen. It is then going to make 3 lance attacks. It is going to make 2 against Dargon. So the first one that comes in is a 13 to hit.
No.
The second one is a 23 to hit.
Yes.
So you are then going to take... Oh, that was 1 on the damage dice. That is 6 points of piercing damage and an additional 12 points of fire damage.
Cool, it's a good job I'm not a bear.
And then it's going to make its third one towards the Archdeacon and totally misses. Cool. Bearded B, still in front of the distiller, is going to try and attack with Beard. That was a natural 1, misses. Tries to attack with the glaive. Also misses with an 8. The distiller just sort of ducking out of the way in a nimbleness which befitting an elf, we should say. Bearded C, staggering on its feet, is going to try and make a beard attack at Thalania. Misses, and then it's going to try and swing its glaive. That one might hit. Does hit. So the glaive is going to hit. So it's going to be not a lot of damage. 4 points of slashing damage. And Thalania needs to make a con saving throw. So it was like 4 points of slashing damage. Thalania just sort of shrugs off as if it's nothing. That's a con saving throw, than what I did. Succeeds on that bastard with a 27. No ill effects. Dargon.
Okay.
Come on, Dargon.
Yeah, see what we can do this time. Pissed that I missed the first time. I shall swing the sword round and sort of, in an arch that actually then comes down surprisingly quickly and then go in again, using feinting attack. So I will get advantage on my first roll. And that is a 19 plus 12 to hit. So close to a natural 20. But yeah, so 31 to hit. I will also get to... what do? I add something to that. I add my superiority die to the damage roll. Yes. So I will roll a d10 first. 12 points of slashing damage. I'm sorry, I need to add...
And that's against... Yeah.
Sorry, that's not a good A because I missed him. I was annoyed about that. So what did I just say? 12 points of damage plus 5 from the superiority die. 17 in total.
Die. Bonus damage.
Bonus damage. 13 points of radiant damage.
13 points of radiant damage. Okay.
And then my second attack is not at advantage, unfortunately. Oh yeah, so unnatural 20 to hit.
Unnatural 20 will hit. Meets
Cool.
the armor class.
Thank God for that. Right. Roll this all together. I will separate it out. So that is another 12 points of slashing damage and 17 points of radiant damage.
Nice.
Just say that again.
Yeah, that's alright. I've still got it up.
12 points of slashing.
12 points of slashing damage and 17 points of radiant damage.
13 points of radiant damage. As this creature is well and truly bloodied at this point, you slice across it twice, and between where the armor meets in different places, this sort of, it literally looks like fire is just beginning to drip as blood begins to sort of seep out and burn on the floor around it.
Okay, with it looking rough as fuck, I will use my action surge.
Okay.
And I will attack again. Oh no, for a 19 to hit.
19 doesn't hit with the first one.
Oh, fuck it! No! It's even less! I'll whip
This
it.
time,
Bollocks!
catching the shield twice.
All the time with my action surge. Fuck's sake. Yeah, that's it.
Then over to Nathim, who is going to literally reach out and touch his bearded sea. Hits with a 25 as this icy cold, and Kirik, if you were paying attention, you would notice this just effect that feels very much like the cold fingers of death just reaches onto this creature as it takes come on, baby, I'm 21 points of necrotic damage.
Nice.
Against bearded sea, and is gone. Bearded sea is out of the picture. That is going to be Nathan's go. The blender, still not a happy bunny. She is going to use a bonus action, I believe. No, she's going to use her action to move the moonbeam to there. And I've just enlarged it. It is only on Narzagon B. It's only got a 5-foot radius. So, again, these ghostly flames appear. Constitution saving throw against that, which was cast at what level? High level, if I remember rightly. Down here somewhere. Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum. I've got a lot of game log to search through there. With me just a second. Don't forget, folks, active in the chat if you want that dice box. Bastards.
What are you looking for?
So it wasn't that high. I think it was that one from second level. Okay, so Constitution saving throw of makes it. You can take half damage again. Okay, so there's then going to be 36 halved, 18 points of radiant damage against Narzagon B. 18 points of radiant damage. Almost enough to drop it. Okay, that will then be yeah, that will be the blender's go. Cool. Kirik.
I will move towards Dargon. 5, 10, 15. I will reach out my hand towards Timael's Wrath. I will run my hand through the blade, and as I do, The blade goes from having this really kind of radiant light to looking like a dark saber, so the interior is all dark. And I'll just say, "Let her guide your strikes," and I'll cast Holy Weapon on him. And then I will move 5, 10, 15. And just for fun, I will look towards the, what's his name? Narzogon. And I'll cast Toll the Dead. I'll click my fingers.
Narzogon
Toll the
A.
Dead.
Yeah.
Wisdom saving throw.
Yes, please.
$21.
Yep, succeeds. And that's my turn.
Okay. If this bell sounds out and the Narzagon's head just turns towards you.
Sure.
Okay. Archdeacon is then sensing that the Narzagon itself is not looking great. He's going to focus his attention on it and is going to use 2 attacks. First one is going to swing. That was a natural one, misses with the first. Second one, that's better. 32 to hit. Shit on the damage dice. That is 9 points of additional or initial slashing damage on Narzagon A. However, of course, there's going to be a smite in that. 15 points of radiant damage additional because he's got the aura. Oh, well, not the aura, but the wings out. And I should be adding the improved divine smite anyway, so
Just while you do that math, Matt, I'm going to very briefly pause the stream and start it again. Guys, everyone watching, bear with us 1 second. I will be back up very shortly.
And we're back.
Possibly. Maybe we're back. We'll find out. It's still telling me that it's yellow, and it doesn't turn red yet, and I don't know yet.
That's fair.
So, oh well, hopefully we're back, guys. Anyway, crack on.
so with the improved divine smite that he has, doesn't need to add on a smite spell, just literally cuts through Narzagon A, and Narzagon A is out.
Nice.
I was going to ace out. Woohoo! Okay, right. He's looking a little better. Fingers crossed. There we go.
Good stuff. Yeah, we do apologise for some of the glitches in stream.
It's a bit warm tonight.
Going on.
That'll be why.
Typical on the anniversary stream, it might just.
It looks like it's
anyway,
looking a little better.
Narzagon B is currently within the middle of this moonbeam, so needs to make a very quick. You need to remember this spell. Where are we? Con saving throw. There we go. Succeeds. Going to take half damage. So where are we? There we go. Half of that. So it would have been a 23, which will be rounding up 24, 12 points of damage. literally, as these ghostly flames burn around it, it just is gone.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't get to do anything on its turn. The Pit Fiend.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Again, still
Christ.
with its aura going, but the two of you. Yep, and Kirik's still all the way back there. So that is fine. It is going to make its 4 attacks. So it's going to bite down towards the Archdeacon. As a 32. It's 23 points of piercing damage. And he's already poisoned anyway, so he can't do that. Glow attack. Natural 1 misses. Mace attack. 26 is going to hit. So there's going to be 15 points of bludgeoning damage and an additional 25 points of fire damage for a total of 40 points of damage on the Archdeacon.
Ooh.
It is not
He's still up
looking
though, that's
good
mad.
in the slightest.
Yeah, I think he's.
And then the tail attack. The tail attack. The Archdeacon with sort of remains of strength wherever it comes from just literally ducks underneath as this tail just swings across the top of his head. Bothrid then, having sensed that the Narzagon, well, sensed, it was in front of him, knowing now that the Narzagon is gone, is then going to use his other quite standard ability, and of course is going to wild shape, and is going to wild shape into a
Badger.
going to wild shape into a giant constrictor snake.
Nice.
This is a new one.
So Bothrid himself
Leg.
just grows in size into this huge constrictor snake, still raging. Movement speed of 30 feet is then going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to get to there. Can't move much quicker. But yeah, so that is Bothrid's go. Now in snake form. Bearded. What are we on? That was a D. So we're on Bearded D. Bearded D is going to try and attack the Archdeacon. So Beard first. Gonna miss. Clave second. Lucky bastard misses again. The Cooper is literally just going to duck down to there, and of course, Bearded B is about to have a headache. As the Cooper's going to unleash all 4. Well, we'll see how it goes. It's going to unleash at least a few attacks on it. So that's a 30 to hit with the first one.
Hey!
That is 18 points of slashing damage initially. And then the second one is going to be a 27 to hit. Which will hit, of course. That's an additional 18 points of damage as well. And with 2 attacks, the Cooper just takes the head off of Bearded B as this purple blood splatters into the red blood stains which already litter the stone floor. And then the Cooper is going to use the rest of his movement. He's moved 10 feet already, so yeah, he's got 20 feet of movement left. Is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20 down to there. That's going to be the Cooper's go. Lilith is going to use... Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. Bonus action. She's going to use Shadow Walk. As it's night time at the minute, because obviously the funeral was at sunset, there is a lot of shadow around. She steps into a shadow and disappears, and then reappears over there to the northwest of the Pit Fiend. And then, as that was a bonus action, is then going to pull some spells out of her ass. She is literally going to reach forward with an insane burst of energy, is going to cast Lightning Bolt.
Oh yeah!
Straight out from her. The Pit Fiend needs to make a dexterity saving throw. Fails.
Yes!
Yes!
So full damage, 13d6 lightning damage.
13? Okay, now. Have some lightning.
That is 44 points of lightning damage.
Happy about that.
As Lilith just literally reaches out and with a roar. This lightning reaches out, smacks into the Pit Fiend. Pit Fiend not really fazed by it. Just part of its arm is burned slightly. Elania then is simply going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And the Enchantress is also going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 up to there. She's got 30 foot. She is then going to cast Eldritch Blast. Is she? Is she? She's going to look at the Pit Fiend. The only remaining enemy on the field.
We've got Bearded D left, didn't we, as well?
Yep.
Yeah, Bearded D left. Sorry, yeah, I've seen that. You see her reach into a bag and she pulls out what looks like a handful of clay, this crystal item, and then these spheres of some kind, and she holds them in her hand and just looks towards the Pit Fiend, and this blast of purplish energy just emanates from her as the Pit Fiend needs to make an intelligence saving throw. Pit Fiend just failed.
Hey!
As the Enchantress casts Feeble Mind.
Oh, yes!
Yes!
The Pit Fiend is going to take 8 points of psychic damage, which is not a lot. However, the Pit Fiend's scores are now... so the intelligence and charisma score are now reduced to 1. Can't cast spells, can't activate magic items, can't understand language, or communicate in any intelligible way. But it can still swing its shit around. So it is now just... You just see the Pit Fiend just sort of... Mouth goes a bit slack. So that is the Enchantress's go. The Distiller now is going to move her movement speed. So 5.
So
10,
what scores
15,
were
20,
reduced?
25, 30.
Just intelligence and charisma?
Charisma and intelligence. That's the Distiller's go. Ander.
seeing that I am nowhere near where the fucking action is, I am going to use, obviously, my full movement speed of 30 feet and then my cunning action to dash. So that gives me 90 feet, right?
If you use your action bonus and
yes.
movement.
Yeah.
So that'll take me to there.
Yep.
At which point, you'll then see and take out what looks like a little bit of syrup, and then he'll just put it on his shoe and cast slow at 3rd level, with obviously the only 2 targets left being the ones that I choose.
How are you planning on doing that when you've just used your movement? Sorry, movement and bonus action. Yeah, carry on.
They've both got to make a Wisdom 15 saving throw, please. I was hoping Feeble Mind would take down his Wisdom score, but it does not.
So what are we on? Bearded D first. Needs to make a Wisdom saving throw, you say?
Alright.
15.
That is... well, fuck, that's the number, innit? He matches it.
Okay.
Bastards.
The Pit Fiend, still with full Wisdom, rolls a 28.
That was a waste of fucking time. That'd have been really cool as well, Matt, if you hadn't rolled good. Yes, that's going to be the new suggestion for me. It's never going to work.
Okay, next up. Dead, Doggone.
And put some sugar on my shoe.
Is it my go?
You poured some sugar on yourself.
Pour some sugar on
it. Yeah, sorry, is that my go?
I'm glad you got the reference. It is your go.
It is my go. Okay, I shall use a special manoeuvre, and I shall grab the back of the Archdeacon's armour, and I shall drag him back to where I am as I switch places with him with bait and switch. Does not provoke any opportunity attacks, but I will roll a superiority die, which will be one of... I'm going to use that one. So that is... the Archdeacon now has an AC of whatever it was, +7.
Okay, now.
Okay.
He'll have like a fucking AC of like 30, wouldn't he? No?
Probably he's got like a 31 or something stupid.
28.
28. Right.
Wow.
So that is a special, so I don't think that uses up anything apart from maybe my 5 foot of movement. And the fact that I've used a superiority die.
Please hold caller. That should be.
I don't think it counts.
It's under special, so that's all it says. When you're within. Yeah, hang on. Let's just double check.
Switch. When you're within 5 feet of a creature on your turn, you can expend 1 superior die and switch places with that creature, provided you spend at least 5 feet of movement. The creature is willing and is incapacitated. Doesn't provide. So it's just literally 5 feet on your movement.
That's pretty. That's a good one. That was a well selected, Dave.
Yeah. So I will use that, and then I will. Is Bearded D looking fucked up at all, or not? Is he
fucking?
Right?
Bearded D looks pretty okay, to be honest. Bearded D, it doesn't look like it's got a scratch on it.
Okay. Weirdly, therefore, I do ignore it, and I will hit the Pit Fiend. Okay, so...
Yeah, kill the guy who can attack 4 times.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So that is a dirty 20. I keep rolling those 8s.
That will hit.
Okay. So I roll with 2d8, correct?
You'll get the additional bonus. Say again?
Yeah.
Extra 2d8 from Holy Weapon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you will get your additional bonus.
So that is 11 points of slashing damage. Starting. That is 18 points of radiant damage to a fiend. And that is 10 points of... Is it radiant damage again from...
Yep.
There we go. Nice.
Nice. The first attack just slides, and you slice across sort of the thigh of the pit fiend, and again this just sort of glowing orange like blood just
19 to hit.
19 is the magic number.
Ooh, shit, that was
Roll
close.
your damage, sir.
That was very close. I didn't like that. I'm rolling bad tonight. Okay, so that is... Oh, really? 9 points of slashing damage. Rolled a 1. But 16 points of radiant damage. 26 points of radiant damage total.
26 points of radiant damage. As this second one comes across and more blood just begins to seep out, and the pit fiend is now considered bloodied.
Holy shit balls.
Hey.
That's just hang on. Just double check I haven't got anything else. Yeah. And because he is... No, I'm good. I'm going to hold it. That's it.
Okay. So then over to Nathan Witchwood, who is... Can't do a lot, I don't believe.
How does it feel somehow
see.
to
So he's
deal
gonna go
damage by not attacking
5,
anything?
10, 15, 20, 25,
Feels great.
30 to there.
That's clerics, man. It's just like, yeah, you guys do the work. I'll just stay here.
He's cheering at the back like, come on, boys. Yep, you good. You're the
Very
coach.
good.
You're the coach.
Very good.
Come on, get him.
He's like, "Give me
Top
a
job
D.
there.
Give me an R."
So you see Nathan run forward, and as he runs forward and gets to the edge of the bronze statue, he just looks towards the pit fiend and opens his mouth, and there is this scream, but the scream comes out as this weird sort of arcane effect, and the pit fiend needs to make an intelligence saving throw.
Hey.
I'm going to roll now.
-4 or 5.
You
Whatever.
say
5.
that, but I've just rolled a natural 20.
Oh, for fuck's
Oh,
sake.
there you go.
You can suck a bag of dicks, you can. This is some...
Still takes half damage. So it's going to take half of 46. So it's going to
Oh,
hit
Jesus
23 points of psychic damage, but is not
What was
stunned.
that?
Psychic scream.
Nice.
That sounds cool.
23 points of psychic damage. Okay, that's Nathan's go, because I don't think he's got any bonus actions that are worth it right now. Nope. So that's Nathan's go. Okay, next up is the Blender, who is going to just cancel the Moonbeam. He says. He tries to drop it off the map. She's got a movement speed of 30 feet. What's she going to do? She is also going to wild shape. And is going to become a giant hyena.
Woohoo!
I did not see that coming either. You're coming out with some random ones tonight.
Means her movement speed now goes up to 50, so she's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, dashes in front of Bothrid there. In fact, she can dash. No, she can't. Bonus action, wild shape, don't be a dick. Okay, so that's the blender in giant hyena form. Kirik.
Seeing the situation and denoting the same effect on the pit fiend as it has befallen on Kirik before, I'm going to grab the staff from behind my back and I'm going to kind of hit it on the floor. I'm going to turn towards the pit fiend and the bearded devil. I'm going to say, "You have done quite enough. Tell all of those that they trespass that this is what awaits them." And I'll cast Banishment at 5th level.
I'll come in right at the end and just overkill it.
Both of them need to make a charisma saving throw.
Fucking mic drop right
That is
there.
a 5 for the pit fiend.
He's gone.
The bearded devil is then going to roll a 17.
Oh, he actually meets my saving throw, but the pit fiend is gone, and if he stays
The
there...
pit fiend.
Oh, sorry, as my bonus action. Sorry, I wanted to do something beforehand, which is dispel...
Okay.
I wanted to dispel the holy weapon because it's a concentration spell. So it means that both the pit fiend and the bitter devil need to make a constitution saving throw to start with.
Okay. Bearded devil first, because I've got that one up. Rolls a 6.
The bitter devil rolls a 6.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to be messed up. So the bitter devil's going to
Roll a
take...
16.
Rolls a 16, the pit fiend.
Yep.
Oh, they're both gonna take damage. 4, so 6, 8, 9, 10. So they both take 10 points of radiant damage, and they're both blinded.
Okay. Nice. It's a disadvantage
So-
on everything anyway, and then you
One
cast
of them is
banishment,
blinding
and the
dark.
pit fiend just swinging around blindly
Gone.
just is gone.
And then banished.
Bearded D is still there, but is somehow just like stumbling around, can't see a fucking thing. Anything else on your
That's my
turn?
turn. That's my action, my bonus
Fucking
action.
Do you
Clark.
have advantage?
Jesus Christ.
I'm concentrating on
Seen
banishment now.
that.
Yeah.
I'm just
The
keeping that thing banished
Archdeacon
now.
is going to touch himself and use
yeah.
lay on hands as his
Easy there.
action to cure himself of poison.
Good plan.
So he gets rid of the poison. Doesn't take any additional damage from that. Bonus actions.
That was a bonus action, wasn't it? Oh no. Sorry.
That was a full action. Is then going to... No, that'll be his go. That'll be the Archdeacon's go. Not labour it. Dead. Pit Fiend can't do piss all, can it?
It's incapacitated and in hell, so...
Okay, it's happy. It's in its home. Bothrid is going to then, in snake form, with 30 feet of movement. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Also
Bothrid's gonna
just
get there
realised that-
just as the party ends.
I also just realised that the pit fiend didn't understand the word of what I just said because he's feeble-minded.
Literally, the Pit Fiend was just there like...
So when he hits-
Okay,
he's
Bearded
like,
D
and then he's
is
blind.
going to attempt to attack whatever is in front of it.
Oh,
First
disadvantage
with its
on that.
beard. Massive disadvantage. It's blinded. That will be a 12 to hit you, Dargon.
No.
And then the glaive just gets swung around. Yeah, that's going to miss as well with a 9.
Hey.
The Cooper, 30 feet of movement. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, hops over 30 to there. Lilith is gonna go 5, 10, put a 15 to there. Lilith is then gonna turn on this bearded creature and is going to attempt it again. 6th level. Casting Disintegrate.
Hey!
Nice.
Dex
Specifically
18.
on its eyeball.
Dex 18. Does it get disadvantage on ability checks as well?
It might get disadvantage on
Dexterity.
saving throws to
Dex.
see. Let me double check.
Let me see.
Well, the book comes out to everyone.
It automatically fails an ability check that requires sight, but other than that, no.
Ability check.
Okay, so it's going to fail that then. If it's blinded.
Does it require
That's a
sight
dex
for
check.
the ability to check?
To dexterity.
I suppose if he's trying to dodge something, it would help to be able to see. I don't know, that's a tough one. It's up to your interpretation, really, I
I
suppose.
literally, if it's dex based, it's usually to dodge out of the way. Like I'm using my
Especially with
dexterity to
disintegrate,
get
which
out
is
of the way. It's not like
which is an all or nothing
Yeah.
spell. So.
yeah. So that's going to fail. It's going to be 10d6
that's
plus
gonna be
40.
Oh!
Yeah,
Oh! Oh!
that's a lot of damage for
Unlike
disintegrate.
Kirik's ability to just snap things out of existence, as this beam of greenish energy strikes into D, you can see this flame-like energy just around bearded D and consumes it as it just then bursts out, and D is gone.
Jesus.
Kirik, how long does banishment last?
For a minute, but if the origin of the creature is not from this plane, it gets sent back to its own plane and it
Stays
stays
there.
there after the minute.
In which case, you all take a minute to sort of look around and calm down, and then, Kirik, you feel just something let go. And you take a breath. And we are out of combat. There are screams all around the city as the Cooper then shouts to you all, "Find the villagers, get them to safety, this city is lost." And everyone just bomb bursts out as they start to run to try and help people. The Enchantress herself just turns on a heel and dashes out. The Blender in hyena form just bounds off down the causeway, down the main thoroughfare. Nathan and Thalania, they grab hold of each other and literally start to run off. The Archdeacon himself sits and just sort of slumps over as he then places a hand on himself again, is going to grant himself 75 hit points back.
Okay, never mind.
hell.
Fucking
Using
hell.
all of his lay on hands pool.
You was better to give him a plaster.
I was about to give him a plaster. Yeah, that was basically what it was.
Have some Savlon. Oh, never mind.
The Archdeacon, looking up at the rest of you now, pain in his eyes. Save the city. I will stay here and guard what is left. Go. Get all who are scared, all who are fighting. Go. For him, go.
Let's keep moving then.
Yeah.
Follow the screams.
Cool. So you follow the screams, and as you're running through, you can see that there are attendants of Cord everywhere, and there's these little imp-like creatures they stab down, and every now and again there's this gout of flame just takes a couple out. You gather as many civilians as you can and sort of start throwing them into buildings and telling to get to safety. You can see that there seems to be a mass exodus towards the south of the city, towards the gates, and a lot of people are running. There are people falling over. As you join the throng, you pick people up and you sort of gather and start throwing as people are just evacuating the city. And as you turn and look back towards the temple, there is just one more explosion, and this piece of bronze just flies through the air over your heads and demolishes a house next to where you're standing. As then what looks like an elderly dwarf sort of crawls her way out, and Bothrid, in snake-like form, manages to get his sort of fangs behind the back and just lifts her up, lets her go, and sort of brings her to her feet, and she slowly but surely makes her way into the stampede of people heading out the southern gate of Moonbright. You all continue as far as you can to just usher civilians out. You now see Lilith, you see Thailani and Neathim, all of your allies, Johannes, all of them just ushering people, throwing them almost out of the gate as the guards and the attendants rush beyond the civilians to go and fight back all of these different fiend-like creatures. There is another pit fiend off in the distance. You see the city of Moonbright itself is on fire and ablaze. Shops, houses. You see from the crucible itself the ramparts all just ablaze. The Archdeacon nowhere to be seen. As the last of the civilians manages to get out, and the attendants, yourselves fighting back these smallish imps and whatever creatures come across, the rest of the civilians, or whoever's left, comes running out of the southern gate. The Malt Masters are there now on the other side, and the distiller herself just stands, casts some sort of spell, and you see this gate form, and the civilians begin rushing through, and you can see her trying to hold this open. The weariness on her face as she just slowly sinks to the floor, trying to hold the spell, with the amount of people now rushing through. Just about gets the last civilian through, and she slumps to the side. The Cooper lifts her up, places her on top of the blender, still in hyena form. Lilith turning now, guarding. They say to you, or the Cooper turns to you, "Give us whatever time you can, and then get yourselves out. Go where you must go. Moonbright has fallen. We take the survivors. Your quest is more important now. Wardens of the Vale, your time has come.
We'll go with
Stand
haste.
forth. Be strong. Be careful, boys."
And you.
And
Protect
they
them
run.
all.
We can
As you
go
turn
now, if
now,
you want.
carry on.
We can go now if you want.
Yes. What the fuck are we waiting for? Let's go.
As you say this, there is a gout of flame, and another black-plated, armoured figure steps out. I say steps out, riding this ghostly black horse with hair and sort of mane of fire, hooves on fire as well. And you just hear this. Did you think Green Flower was the last?
Looks like...
We'd love to.
And we are going to end it there
Love to-
tonight.
You have to stay and chat. We're fucking off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
we're getting out of here.
what are you planning on doing? No. Go back. What are we planning on doing?
Word of recall.
You're going to go word of recall.
Yeah.
So as this figure steps out astride this nightmare-like black horse, the snake-like form of Bothrid slithers up to you all and bamps back into Bothrid form as Kirik, you grab your friends. Ander, I'm assuming as you all just in this flash of dark light, you are just there.
2 birds flipping them off.
Oh, you can't see that, huh?
Kirik, describe your word of recall for me very quickly.
It's just a kind of 2 raven wings that extend from my back and wrap themselves around all of us. And then for a moment, we're just traveling through darkness, and we just land on the temple in Malt Master's Keep.
Cool. So you are all just enveloped in this dark light, and then find yourself next to the Raven's Annex, and you can hear the cacophony of noise from outside now. As you step out of the temple, there are villagers, city folk everywhere, and there is still a mass panic as guards now are forming a ring around the city folk. Mass panic. No sign of the Maltmasters. No sign of the Archdeacon, Johannes, Lilith, Nathan, Thalania. None of them around. And that is where we will leave it there for tonight. So, thank you all for joining us on this anniversary episode. We have a dice box to give away, so I am just about to go through and see who has been interacting with us tonight. I've got 1, I've got 2, 3. I think we have 3 potentially lucky people. So, we'll do this the D&D way, with a roll of a dice. Our lucky winner of the dice box, Mirtha Stick. Please do drop us a private message. Let us know and get in touch so we can send you your dice box. We will get that to you as soon as we can. Thank you very much all for joining us. Mirtha Stick, enjoy that dice box. We are all massively jealous of you. We hope to get our own soon. Thank you everyone for joining us. Apologies those that didn't get the dice box tonight. I am probably, however, going to tweak this slightly in the fact that we had only 3 people engaging with the chat. Rather than give the t-shirts out to just 2 random followers, so she sells and Qers, you are both going to get a t-shirt, and we're going to do the t-shirts that way. Just thank you for engaging with us tonight. Thank you for being here. Yeah, that will I think conclude our anniversary episode. So thank you to all the tools we've used. D&D Beyond's been a godsend for me tonight. Thank you to Incarnate for all my maps. I've gone through about 6 different maps tonight. The encounter map that we built was all built on Albo Radio, Incarnate, and then used on Albo Radio as our virtual tabletop. So yeah, thank you to all those tools. Thank you to Battle Bards. If you want to get those sound effects, you want to use those musical effects. My brain's gone at this point. Musical effects, the sound effects, everything in your home game, then please go use the discount code that we can offer you, Molten Magic, as you register. Get yourselves a cheeky discount. And yeah, make your home game or your own streams more immersive. We have been the Molten Magic crew. This has been our anniversary, so happy 1 year, guys. It's been amazing. Let's see what the next year brings. Hopefully that's been a bit of fun for you all. Decided to drop some things onto you in the second half that I knew would A, reveal some sort of things you've been imagining, and B, also hopefully scare the shit out of you at the same time. So with that, thank you all once again. We love you all. Thank you all for joining us. Congratulations to those who have won the giveaways. Still, for everyone who wants the potential to create an NPC in the campaign, we need 50 followers. When we reach that 50 follower mark, I will pick a random follower from that 50 to help me design an NPC who will feature in the game, so you can get your own little bit of your own personality inside our game. Anyway, it's 25 past 11 UK time. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Thank you to my awesome players. Thank you for the last year. It's been amazing. Looking forward to the next year. We love you all. We will see you next week.